And we're live. We're losing the moon, but we have it. Even if
is.
it's just for a split second. Stephen has thrown the moon up for us for just a few moments. This is too rare of a moon not to show for at least just a couple of seconds. It's not really that rare of a moon. I mean, if you look naked eye in the west,
it's too beautiful of a moon to not look at.
Yes, exactly. And what an eloquent way to put it. That's Mr. Stephen Hummel out there at the McDonald Observatory. He's in the dome. Let's bring him up so I can show y'all exactly what he's doing. You can see the telescope there behind him. And you can see that the telescope is pointed opposite of him, away from him, and into a tree where you can see this
tree. Yeah, a very, very dim view now as it goes down into the trees, and that's why it's getting dimmer and dimmer and dimmer. But yeah, still wonderful crescent moon. But yeah, my name's Stephen Hummel. I'm our dark sky specialist at McDonald Observatory. This is our 16-inch RC behind me, and we're gonna have fun. We're gonna look at a bunch of stuff. We're gonna have great conversation. We're gonna drink some coffee. Will, you got your coffee there? Yeah, Ron, are you a coffee drinker?
Ron? I don't think Ron's drinking coffee.
No, okay, well, whatever.
He's drinking the mute button right now, unfortunately.
I was going to say I had to get back to it. I was trying to set it up. I am definitely not drinking coffee because it has been a long week. So no, it won't be coffee, but juice. We got juice tonight.
Juice, all right.
Yeah, his gin and juice, right? Laid back.
With my mind on I don't have any money, so I'm definitely not.
And we get hit with copy.
My mind's on money because I don't have any right now.
If you finished that sentence, we would have got hit with a copyright strike anyway. So that's Mr. Ron Sparkman right there of many talents. I mean, he's got every social media on the planet. But if you follow him at Stardom Space, you can find him there at the Space Dude, which I think it's the Space Dude. Yeah,
the Space Dude. I'm not just I'm the Space Dude. Yes.
I don't know why I keep doing this tonight. Apparently this is the thing.
Hey,
come on.
Hey.
It's going to get weird tonight, folks. It's going to get real weird because, that's the way it gets here with whatever we're doing with this. But yeah, so.
Don't be weird with us. That's what we want.
That's what we want. We're going to get a little astronomy weird. It's fine.
Yeah, going to get a little spacey. We're going to get a little out of this world. I'll stop now. That's Stephen. That's Stephen. That's Ron right there. My name is Will. You can find me at Deep Sky Dude. You probably are following me now if you're watching this. But also, we're streaming tonight for the first time on Stardom on Facebook as well as multiple other Facebook areas and YouTube. So we're branched out to 5 different sources tonight. So maybe we'll win an Emmy. Who knows? Or a Tony. I don't know how those awards work. So. We're working on that.
I'll make up an award for us.
Steven's working on his Pulitzer for sure. So
there are online awards for like social media and marketing and stuff, and don't think I'm not going for one of those in like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah,
with all the work I'm doing right now, I better.
You're definitely astute at building platforms. That's for sure, man. I mean, if you need a guy that does social media marketing, Ron is your guy, and he's pretty.
What I hear.
I think he's got good rates for you. So, So, Karina, what's up? How you doing? We're gonna get some of these comments real quick because I like to feature comments because you guys are here to hang out with us. So we feel like if we include y'all, then y'all can hang out with us, right? So it's like it's a coffee star party, right? We get to request targets, maybe if it's.
I think I know what she's gonna request. I happen to know this person. Maybe I can't confirm it. We'll look at some bug stuff. Don't worry.
I think I heard bug. So
bugs, yeah.
Okay,
antennae.
All right.
Yeah.
Antennae. Oh.
Get it? Yeah. It's a stretch.
And I was thinking the Bug Nebula because it comes up, but it's actually in the tail of Scorpion, which is pretty late.
We're not going to go that late tonight. But
we'll get there hopefully this summer though, because that's a cool man. That is a choice nebula for sure. Steve Olson, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Allison Pierce. Yeah, that was a long time ago. Karina, I'm sorry. Luna. Woot, woot. I feel the same way when I look at the moon. Spencer Pratt, what's up, good buddy? How you doing? Celsa, did I get it right? Woohoo! I think so. How do you get to do how do you do the glasses effect, Ron? I want to answer that while I'm showing some of these other comments.
Those are real. You just bought those.
These are totally mine. So can't tell anybody about it. No, it's just so I've got a couple different apps running right now. They really need to sponsor me at this point. I've talked so much about XSplit. But go check out XSplit and you can get a camera, and that will the XSplit camera will allow you to have cool moving backgrounds that don't they aren't as bad as say not bad. I mean, the ones on Zoom are fine, but these are much smoother. And then this one is through Snap Camera. So I'm actually running XSplit. So Snap Camera is running into XSplit, and then through Zoom, I'm running XSplit as the camera. So this is actually like 3 different cameras.
Dang.
It's complex.
Yep.
It's worth it.
It's like track IR for people who want weird sunglasses with no visual impediment.
I'm all apped out. I'm getting a desktop computer because the brand new laptop that I got is just not going to be able to run, especially once I start doing OBS and like into Zoom or StreamYard or bouncing back and forth. We're trying to do, I'm hoping that we're going to be able to do something that will be close to broadcast-ish for the SpaceX thing, like reaching out to people that are, actually going to be able to be there because we're not going to be able to cover it. I don't think anybody's going to be able to get there for it, but I do have friends that are going to be at it. Not even friends, collaborators, somebody that works for us, works with us, also works at KSC. So she works at the visitor center. So hopefully she can get like some live shots of it. So we're hoping we can get a bunch of other science communicators to kind of come on, interview, and talk about it. So looks like we got a lot of people tonight, man. This is going to be a fun one.
Awesome.
Yeah. We got lots of people hanging out. I wanted to say hey to a buddy of mine on TikTok. This guy's really cool, Joshua. He's a jeweler from, I guess, Philadelphia, and his videos on TikTok are actually really cool. He likes showing, different types of jewelry and like the gemstones in it. It's super cool. I know it sounds not as interesting as I'm making it out to be, but his is definitely one. Josh, if you would link that up if somewhere down here so we could get to that so that people can follow you on TikTok, because it's pretty cool. And I think, Stephen, don't you have a TikTok now?
I've done nothing with it, but yes, I made a TikTok.
Nice. Yeah, it was. And what is the name? It was when you sent me the name, I was like, dude.
Nick Dark Sky Guy.
Nick Dark Sky.
I almost spilled my coffee because of Ron's reaction.
Nick Dark Sky Guy. Hey.
It's too good. It's too good.
Great.
Yeah, good to have all you guys here. John Reed's going to join us here in a little bit. I know we're waiting on a couple more people, I think, or maybe 1 or 2 more might jump on with us as time goes on. So that's going to be fun. We're going to have a kind of revolving door here as people kind of check in and check out with us, kind of like call in, I guess. I don't know. That might get dangerous if we open it up to callers as far as that goes. But we have some people lined up, so it's cool. It's all good.
Yeah,
it's all good.
Yeah. Especially
yeah, Allison says Ron's got layers on layers on layers. Yeah, it's like layerception. And that comment it layered it even worse.
He's pro at this. Look at that.
Pickle Rick.
Oh God.
Are you a pickle in beer or what?
I think I'm a pickle in beer. I think is exactly what's going on right now. But I could be. Wait. I could be a pineapple on the beach, yo. What's going on? We're gonna do some astronomy tonight.
Oh, I love how it bounces around.
Oh, it moves. Oh, look at the fronds. You got to check the fronds out. Check that out. Oh yeah. Oh, it's go time, baby. Let's do this.
Oh my God, that's completely terrifying, actually.
Yeah, it actually is. Like, so a lot of it is very unsettling. The way he can kind of come at you like that,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the thing nightmares are made of, and I think that's probably.
Thankfully, I'm not going to go to sleep tonight.
Yeah. So hey, and Karina brings up a cool point here. That's McDonald Observatory also does live streams and mini star parties. Follow them on Facebook or Instagram to see when they're going to do it next. And on their YouTube is where you really need to be, because the guy in the middle here is going to be your dude. He's basically most of the comment is let's.
Well, other people are going to be hosting too.
Steven's like, all you see is his glasses and like, what's up, y'all? See that big telescope?
Kilroy was here. But yeah, y'all can check out McDonald Observatory. They've got awesome live streams and Stephen is at the helm, and he's going to take you on a deep sky tour. We're going to do some of that stuff tonight, but we also get a little weird and a little bit off topic on this thing because it's a little more casual. We're having coffee. We're astronomers talking astronomy, so that's just what we do. But it's always fun, and we still got a few more minutes before we get dark. But I think Stephen already has something up for us, so we'll take a look at that while we're getting through the rest of these.
Yeah,
is that Venus?
No, that's a tiny, tiny little moon. No, I'm just kidding. No, that's Venus.
You had me for actually like 0.4 of a second. I was like, wait, really? Oh, but I was like, wait, the phases. He's doing something.
Yeah, no, that's definitely the planet Venus, which also, if you weren't aware, has a phase, and it is a crescent phase at the moment. Because it is an inner planet closer to the sun than the Earth, we usually see it have a pretty dramatic phase. So this is a pretty good time to see it. Venus doesn't really have any like interesting features to see on it because it's mostly just a big, thick, hazy atmosphere with blocking all the interesting stuff on the surface. So really, the phase of Venus is kind of the most interesting thing about it.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I'm not gonna lie, man. 6 years in, I had no idea there was phases because I've never really looked at Venus through not as much as I would want to anyway. So I honestly did not know it did that. That looks awesome. I had no clue.
Yeah, it's kind of a neglected planet. I mean, everyone's probably seen it. It's the brightest thing in the sky aside from the sun and the moon. So if you see a really bright thing in the sky, it's probably Venus, especially right after sunset right now, or sometimes in the early morning. But yeah, it's a cool one.
Yeah, dude. And what's awesome is you'll only see phases on the inner planets, Venus and Mercury. You'll never see a phase of Jupiter or Saturn. You'll never see a crescent Saturn or a crescent Jupiter because we are closer to the sun than those planets are. So from perspective wise, we might as well be the sun. And so we only ever see the front side of that planet illuminate.
Yeah. It's we never see the other ones illuminated, so it is somewhat unique. Now, Mercury has a phase too, but it's really tough to see Mercury because it's always really, really low. So it's a tough one to really observe the phase on. It's also just really small. But yeah, Venus is close. It's a close planet, the closest planet. It gets the closest of all of them, which means it's relatively big in the sky compared to other planets. It's about the same diameter as Earth, basically, pretty much the same size as Earth. Kind of gives you some scale. Check the mini stars.
I think I'm back now. I think my Wi-Fi just glitched out on me, so I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
You cut out, but we're still here, I think. So.
Yeah, we sure are.
It was weird.
That's the cool part about this app is that if even the person that's hosting it gets bounced, it keeps going so they can come back in, which is excellent.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because if you're on a Zoom call, I'm pretty sure if the person that started it leaves, I think it might boot you or something. So, so Karina, that same app will allow me to come. Not just a potato. I hope you guys are ready for this. It's going to get real.
No.
I mean,
no.
This is next level. I'm really excited about this one. Hold on. Wait for it. Wait.
I don't know if I can ever be ready for this.
Oh, you can't honestly be ready for it. It's so good. Oh, where'd it go? I just had it a minute ago.
Yeah, we're just waiting for a little bit darker skies, Toby. We started a little early tonight because we wanted to try to get the moon and Venus. So we're working on Venus right now, and then we'll get to some dark sky stuff as it comes out, of course. What's up, Reza Ray from Ohio? How are you doing, Reza?
That's the sky right now.
There you go. That's all sky camera. Hey, Didi, how you doing? Zolchi Mercado. I'll always butcher your name, Zolchi. Zolchitl. Oh boy.
Oh, no.
How's it going, everybody?
Not so well now.
Is that better? So not only am I potato, I am Tiger King potato.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Stripes from the king. The brown. That's right.
What happens if you turn your head upside down?
My what?
Can you like turn your head like upside down? Does
I
it,
can
like,
only go like sideways. Like I can
sideways
kind of
as far
come
as
to
you
the
can?
side, and then like come all get real with it, get all up close and personal. Social distancing. Hashtag social media distancing. Not following.
Unfollow.
Unfollow.
We're getting
Unfollow.
Actually, everyone's unfollowing our Instagrams right now because of the potatoes.
Yeah, that alone makes this program not super kid friendly.
Look, kids, we have a space potato.
Space
Whatever
tater.
that means. Space tater.
Space tater.
Space Tiger Space Tater King. Space Tiger Tater King? I don't know.
How you
The
doing,
optimum
Victor?
arrangement of words there.
I just
How you
Hello.
doing?
Ooh, we got a phone call. Calling in.
Hey, it's Kat. We got a phone call.
Phone call coming in.
Oh,
there we go.
I didn't know we were taking callers, so
That's so horrible. Look at that.
Caller, come on in. This is
It's
the
not
best
even
live stream I've ever seen. I want to personally tell everybody how amazing the Deep Sky Dude is.
Thank you. Lysol.
Thank you so much. You have my complete and full. Actually, I hate you. Honestly, you're just so much better than me.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Mr. President. It's not even like a good mask. It's just like a horrible
The picture of him is all it is. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of back in the day when I used to watch Conan O'Brien, and this is what it would look like. It only took out, and that's what I think the point of it is to do that. Yeah. So let me.
When he used to do Arnold, he's like, "Come on,
hello there. I'm Arnold. I'm Pickle Arnold."
I'm missing some comments here. We got too much space tomatoes going on. No, space potato.
Space potato.
Sorry.
Space tiger potato.
California in the house.
Welcome.
We got Cat Central Texas in the house. Just happens to be Eddie's wife. Good friend of ours. We all know Eddie. And
us three do.
Yeah, us and Ron knows, yeah. Oh wait, that's 3. Sorry, I can't count. Kat says too funny, so maybe that's what this new stream is.
Yeah, Ron, you're too funny for us. Sorry,
it's
can't handle it.
It's no longer astronomy. All they want is space tater.
Stephen, I was not sold on that, brother. Total unfollow. As it should be. I'm unliking. I'm unfollowing. I might even block you.
Hey, Robert Emmanuel, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to have you. We're just checking out Venus. For those of y'all that may be just tuning in, like, what are these weirdos going on about? We're just geeking out over a shot of Venus, which is down there. And if you go out, if you have clear skies right now to the west, go out and just look west. I promise you won't miss Venus. If you cannot find anything in the sky, the moon and Venus are two things, or in the sun, but don't look at the sun. I don't recommend looking at the sun. But the moon and Venus, if you can't find those, I can't help you. So
you can do it. Go outside, look at it, and you look back at this and say, "Oh, that's actually what it looks like. It's actually a little crescent. It looks like a dot with the naked eye." But
exactly.
Well, that's something to say, is that even as a crescent that far away, it's still that bright in the sky right now. I mean, that was going to be the focus of our star party coming up this week. Well, it was going to be this week. Was going to be, I think, it was going to actually be this coming Friday. We were supposed to have it, and it was going to be about Venus. We were going to talk to Justin Filberto, who is he's the lead researcher on the new information that Venus may still have active volcanoes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Fascinating.
Interesting.
Yeah, Venus is a really interesting place, if only it weren't covered in a giant, thick, hazy atmosphere that prevented us from seeing all of its interesting stuff. Yeah, but what causes the shadow on Venus for the phases? Well, basically, on the left, it's nighttime, and on the right, it's daytime. So, if you were to look back at the Earth from space, the nighttime side would be dark, and the daytime side would be here. So the sun's over in this direction. And so at the angle we're seeing it, it's got a phase. And as Venus goes around the sun, the phase at which we see it changes, as the Earth goes around too, but Venus goes faster around. Just a trick of the light, basically, just the illuminated from the side.
Yeah. And like I said, we'll never see that on Jupiter, Saturn, Mars. You'll never see a crescent Mars because we're closer to the sun than Mars is. But if you could leave Earth's orbit and go past whatever planet you want to see as a crescent, you could potentially see it as a crescent. You just have to be at the right angle between you and the sun, which would be crazy to see a crescent Jupiter. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, that'd be really trippy.
Sick.
If you
I mean,
if you live on Jupiter,
spacecraft. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Patrick says, yeah, I just want Space Tater. Who cares about Venus?
Yeah,
So I do have to give a quick shout out. So Patrick Harper is not just a friend, somebody I consider family. Thanks for joining tonight, Patrick. Spent a bunch of time. Actually, one of the only star parties that I've done, not star party, but one of the only nights I've been able to really go out and view that wasn't kind of at work, doing work stuff. I went out to hang out with him and his family one night, and me, him, his brother, his sister-in-law, and his mom, and everything. Made dinner, and then went out and looked through the telescopes. Man, I think actually his wife was with us too. So it was a really, really great time. Man, their family always hang out at Space Symposium and stuff. So glad to have you on, Patrick. Future Possum Night.
There you go. And it looks like Stephen's swinging on somewhere.
Yeah, it's darker now.
Over to the Kinney Nebula. What's up, George? How you doing, dude? Good to see you. I'm glad you were able to jump on with us. He says he's watching on the iPad from the hammock in the backyard. Now that just sounds like heaven right there, because we just had a nice cold front blow through, so it's nice. So good to see you, George. Glad you're here with us, man. What's up, Jim? How you doing?
Welcome
Uriah
back.
Heap. Another night of quality stuff, Uriah says. So thank you, Uriah. We appreciate that.
Yeah, I need to find a way to put cat ears and stuff on my pictures to compete with Ron.
Yeah.
So that can be arranged, sir. That can be arranged.
The little bunny nebula is what we would officially rename.
I mean,
the Eskimo, right?
The little.
Kyle.
I thought we were Kenny or Nebula.
Yeah, the Kenny Nebula. Yeah.
That was another name for it.
They killed Kenny.
Hey, Kenny. Wait. Here's the thing, though.
I know he's doing something over there.
I don't know what he's up to.
He gets quiet when he's doing weird stuff like that.
Yeah, that's how you know something weird's gonna happen next.
We weren't
he's
wrong.
Disappearing into the. Oh my god.
Yeah. I don't even know. It's.
What?
Oh, there.
It
Okay.
must be
it's Cartman. It's
Cartman. Okay.
It's gonna be Cartman.
Well, Cartman has disappeared into the nebula. Oh, did we lose him?
Yeah, we lost him.
Oh, it was too much for him.
It was too much. Yeah.
Oh my god, they killed Ron. Anyway, this is the Eskimo Nebula, is its common name. It's a planetary nebula, a little dying star that shed its outer layers, puffed them off into space. That's what we're seeing here. And that's right. Venus does become the morning star instead of the evening star, depending on its position relative to the sun.
Yeah, and in fact, sometimes it's like not even, because I don't wake up that early in the morning to see Venus, but sometimes it'll kill the end of your night. Because you're like, why is it getting so bright out here? And then all of a sudden you look to the east and there's Venus just coming up with the sun. It's like,
that's how you know you've been up too long.
Yeah. Or it's been a great night. Either one of those two things is probably true.
Oh, what is going on below me?
I don't know.
This is my dark skies.
These are my dark skies. He was saving that one.
Oh dear.
He was saving that one, wasn't he?
Oh man.
Let's see. I left off there. Let's see. You never see.
You would see it full if it were opposite of the sun. So basically, because the sun's in the way.
So if you were on Mercury, you'd probably see a full Venus all the time. Yeah. But maybe, I mean, even Mercury's. But no, they never supersede each other, right? So Mercury's always closer. So, yeah. You would always see a full Venus and every other planet in the solar system too. It'd be pretty.
Yeah, if you're on Mercury, but for the Earth, we won't see a full Venus really.
There's Tom Weidman, good friend of mine from Okie Tex and Texas Star Party, and El Dorado star party. I guess we do all the star parties together, Tom and I.
Oh wow, he's your star party buddy.
And he's also Captain Obvious.
Oh, is it?
No, he's just
Yeah.
he's just a captain.
Wait, is that for a minute? I was like, does he have a filter? I thought it was real.
He's just a captain of several airplanes. So
Oh, man.
yeah, he's an awesome dude. Super good fisherman. He does sushi out at Okitex every year, sushi night.
What? That's awesome.
Choice. It's actually sushi afternoon, and it's kind of a small thing, even though there's like 50 people. But it's kind of like, he's like some kind of sushi Jesus. Like everybody's full, and there was only like 12 loaves of sushi. I don't know.
Are they loaves? Is that what we're calling it? That's what I heard. I thought it was called a roll, but I mean
rolls. Yeah, rolls.
I had to tie it back in. You know what I'm saying?
Fair enough.
All right. Who wants to see? If you've got any requests, we're taking requests for targets to look at. If there's something you really want to see, you let us know, and first we'll see whether or not we can actually point there.
Yeah, there's a lot up, but yeah, it has to be up. Like, so if you say Andromeda Galaxy, we won't be able to accommodate you. But
or Orion Nebula is too low. But there's a lot of galaxies up. This is galaxy season, so odds are, if you want a cool galaxy, we can do it.
Stephen, can I start off the request by maybe saying go to the Siamese, and can we look at that supernova just real quick as a recap from last time? Peru in the house. Peru, what is up? Glad you're here, Peru. Good to see you. Karina is from the LOL
She's
Nebula.
La 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 la.
We should name the LOL Nebula something.
There we go.
Hey Amber, how you doing? Good to see you. Patrick says flying. Yes, I was flying today. It was fun.
I saw that on your post about that. What kind of plane do you have, Will?
I do not have one.
But what were you flying?
Oh, but one day I will, sir. Today, it was a Cessna 172, believe it or not. Today was my first ever time as the controls guy, which is the official term, by the way. The controls guy in a Cessna 172. So that was friggin' awesome, man. I've flown a high wing once other time in my life, and that was cool. I was 17, but the rest of my training has been in a low wing Piper. So this was fun.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
We flew to Galveston and back, and did all of that. I don't know what's going on down. You don't even want to look down there.
Jeez. Oh boy. Can't even do it.
Oh wait, there we go.
I can play that. I would actually have to play it, I guess. So
somebody's. Somebody's gonna tune in right now and be like, "What is going on here?
What is going on here?" All right, we'll go back to normal.
Back to our regularly scheduled Dark Sky program.
Yeah.
That was actual legitimate there.
Very, very serious science happening here. Yes. Completely changing tones.
Yeah. I have never done Rocky Mountain Star Stare. I don't think Ron has either, but I think we have plans to in the near future. If not this year, then maybe next.
What about you, Stephen? Have you ever been able to come up for that for RMSS? Or do you know what RMSS is first, I should ask?
No, I don't.
So Rocky Mountain Star Stare, for those that don't know that may be listening in, please go check out the website. It is done by the Colorado Springs Astronomical Society, and man, they are beast mode. Like we're one of the top rated ones in the country when it comes to both the Astronomical Society itself, because of Dave Warner, who's one of our outreach people, as well as all the other. I'm glad you guys were laughing, man. I'm glad you smile. So with all the different people that actually turned that off, I'm sorry, I didn't realize it was still playing. That was not on purpose. I'm sorry, guys. So, Rocky Mountain Star Stare is a really incredible. So it's one of the bigger ones in the area, like within the tri-state area. So us, Wyoming, and so on.
And he lived to tell the tale. Sorry, go
He
ahead.
did, yeah.
No, you're always willing to welcome to interrupt me. So Colorado Springs Astronomical Society runs it, and then so we have it every summer. And I have yet to be able to go. I've been a member for years, but I've always had a DJ through the weekend. And it's a 4 or 5 day event. This year, if everything goes well, going to have very prolific writer Leonard David, who wrote. He's written a bunch of stuff for Nat Geo. He's always a really amazing writer out there. It's space.com, and he's done it for a very long time. And the big one is Harrison Schmitt, one of the only remaining living moonwalkers, is supposed to be there. And in fact, I believe, if I remember correctly, that Harrison is the only actual scientist. He was a geologist that went to the moon, if I remember right. So like everybody else, test pilots, I mean, all very bright, a lot of doctors, not saying anything against them, but I think he was the only one that was like scientist. So yeah, man, that's supposed to be that. And it's multiple days, tons and tons of vendors. I'm sure it's very similar to the stuff that you guys get to go to all the time that I'm still really hoping to go and check out. But yeah, I'm going to be there. It is going to be in June currently, unless something changes. So would really, and I mean, Stephen too, man, I could see you coming up and doing, at the minimum, a talk with us, maybe next year or,
maybe next year. Yeah. When I have
or
travel.
and even if you want to do a talk with us, man, I bet they'd be down for that. Same with you, Will.
Yeah. That'd be awesome. That'd be a really, really cool experience. Yeah. Thanks for letting me know about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so but while we're here, we can't miss out on the opportunity to talk about the supernova, because this is such a rare event. But I do want to talk about Rocky Mountain Star Stare, because I do want to go. I'm getting a little, astronomy sick, but these streams are helping. But there it is right there. You can see that star that Stephen is circling. I'll go ahead and bring that up right here real quick. That star is an exploded star inside that galaxy. What is it? 60 million light years, I think we discovered.
63 or 67, some in the 60s of millions of light years. Yeah, 60. So around the time the dinosaurs were doing their business of dying, that's when the light left these galaxies. Around the time of the asteroid impact that killed off the dinosaurs here on Earth. Yes. Yeah. No, this is a Type 2b. This one's a
Type 2b. So a really big star exploding instead of a Type 1a being a white dwarf siphoning material from another star. It's kind of, now we are not, none of us on this panel of experts is supernova experts. We are experts at observational astronomy. That's about it, But no, we're kind of like armchair quarterbacks here, but I mean,
yeah, we're not. We know a little bit about what we're talking about, but supernova get pretty complicated in the nitty-gritty details. I see a question there from Amber May. If you want to,
lots of questions. Let's see. There it is.
I have it. Yeah, people have been seeing star-like objects in the sky moving in an orderly line. That's Starlink. It's Starlink, the satellite train. Those are. Yeah, we don't like those very much. They're not super popular in the astronomy world because they get in the way of a lot of astronomical observations. But yeah, definitely just Starlink satellites for sure. I've been getting questions about that every day for several days now, and that's definitely what it is. Yeah,
and and obviously they're becoming more frequent, but they're also, I mean, they're very visible. I was out with the moon and everything, and I was doing a live stream, and I'm looking up, and I'm like, what is going on? And then it took me a second to kind of snap to what it was. And I was like, because it was like one. And I was like, hey, here comes another one. And then right behind it, evenly spaced, another one. And, it is what it is. There's a lot of people have different ways that they feel about it, but it's. So,
Stephen, I got a question for you, or both of you. And this is not something that I know, not something that I've asked the folks I do know that work there. Is it when they first get in, like, will they move into an orbit where we're not going to be able to really see them anymore, or is it going to be like every other satellite?
We'll see them always. Hold on one second.
Sure.
We will definitely see them even in their final orbits, but they won't be as bright as their initial orbits. But we can definitely see them. Especially with the big telescope, you can pick up really, really faint satellites, and they're still there. But of course, the brighter they are, the more of an issue they pose for observations.
Travis has a SpaceX rocket as an avatar, and he says we apologize. So I assume that's an official apology from SpaceX itself. So
We'll
Travis, thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, we kind of we've not been too kind to SpaceX lately in our.
And there's the Starlinks right there, just going.
We gotta take a screenshot of that.
No, that's because I've started moving the television.
Of course.
But it really does look like that.
It does look. That's
really
exactly what it looks like. So
yeah.
Lots of requests for objects. Go ahead, Ron. Sorry.
No, you're completely fine. And Kyle just made a really good point. Long-term SpaceX announcer, so they're looking to coat them with a non-reflective coating. They're looking at changing the orbit of them, so hopefully they won't be as obtrusive. They're looking to do a bunch of different things of what they're going to be able to do to change it, man. When it comes down to it, there's the people that work at SpaceX are killer. I've never met anybody there that really, two people I call really great friends work there, and they're amazing. They love what they do. They're trying to change the world in a bunch of different ways. And sometimes when you change the world, there's going to be some give and take for it. And I think that they're completely open to it. And man, I've had nothing but a pleasurable experience with the upper management. I've not ever met Elon, but everybody else I've met from SpaceX has always been super, super cool. I think they're going to figure out a way to fix it. And man, that would be well. Here's the amazing thing: say that we work, and Travis just mentioned he's like we are going dark. They're working on it, and I cannot tell you the work ethic of the people that I know that work there. They take everything very seriously. You kind of hear some of the goofing off and stuff with some people, but if they move into the right place, here's the amazing thing: is that if it works and it works right, imagine being able to take a telescope, like hiking a telescope up to the top of Kilimanjaro and putting a telescope up at 19,000 feet and looking deep into the sky. Like nobody's ever seen anything from out there. So I'm just saying that would be super cool.
It would totally be. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
Mexico. But yeah, I did see in the news lately that they had talked a little bit about painting them dark, but there was also a somewhat speculative article that they were going to make kind of like a sunshade sort of setup rather than just painting them, but a shade to block out some more of the light, including from the solar panels from the perspective of the Earth, which would be great if they do that. That would be amazing. So I really hope that's what happens because then something definitely needs to be done. Yeah.
And you know what I'm worried about also is not even us visual astronomers, because us visual guys can get past it, but imagers can, we can throw away those subs and there's Sigma whatever editing that'll take it all out. Cool. But you're losing those subs still. But what about when it becomes when the full array is up? What is that going to do to our radio telescopes? When there's constant GPS radio signals being broadcast down? I'm not a radio telescope expert, but that immediately strikes me as a problem if we're trying to search for extraterrestrial intelligence, SETI. If we're trying to look for gamma ray bursts or radio galaxies and things like this and monitor pulsars and that kind of thing. So it's like there is a little bit of a conundrum in that respect too. But I don't know, Stephen, what have you heard as far as...
So what we're going to do for Green Bay, Green Bay, that's a couple hours away from my hometown. So, you can't even have a cell phone in the county. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, Starlink is an issue for radio telescopes. And although there is some regulation about this, the frequencies that they transmit at, like they're relatively narrow, not as narrow as some other things, but they are in the kind of, I believe, in the gigahertz frequency. And that is a concern for some radio observations. It could be that that something naturally is emitting at that frequency, that may be a problem. But I would kind of say it's a line, more like a line emission. So it's not like visible light where it's very broad and it's hard to filter out. With the radio, it is a little more discrete and where the radio transmissions are, so you can ignore them, but you can't 100% recover, the data. If you care about that specific frequency that Starlink happens to be transmitting at, it's a problem, but it's not as big of a problem as it is in the visible light, I would say.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, and
51. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. The thing that I was going to say that I would be really excited for is that when you look at all the things that SpaceX is up to, and possibly even, depending on the love that they have for the night sky, is there a possibility that you see SpaceX in a few years? So, Dear Moon happens, and we got a billionaire that says, I want to fly artists to the moon. Who's going to be the first person that says, I want to put the first private space telescope up? Like, I'm going to take the billions of dollars that I have. Jeff Bezos says, I'm going to take $20 billion because I can, and I want to do some really cool things with the night sky, and I'm going to create a fleet because he wants millions of people working in space. And, say New Glenn takes off and he does that. There's just a couple of different ways that I think would be really interesting to see. When is that coming? Because right now we've got private space, commercial space is coming up for space flight. When are we going to get to see the first ones that are going to be the private space telescopes? Who's going to own the first, the Musk telescope or the first Bezos telescope or the first Branson telescope? I think we might eventually get there. There's going to be a billionaire that wants to fly his first telescope to space, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think it's only a matter of time before we
get yeah.
And imagine what if he gave the ability. I mean, you look at Dustin Gibson from Op Telescopes is putting 62 telescopes around the world. He's in the middle of the desert right now, making putting new telescopes together. Like, if Op continues to blow up and space blows up and Dustin becomes a billionaire, I'm going to put a 560,000 inch telescope into space. It's a whole fortune. We're going to see beyond the 13.8 billion years, but it would be a really amazing thing, man.
Yeah, it's an interesting proposition too. That's only recently really been kind of feasible with the commercial space program, but also on the last SpaceX mission that launched to the ISS. So it was CRS-20 was the last one, and I'm pretty sure that was the last resupply mission that SpaceX did. They launched a thing up called Bartholomew or something like that. It's a pod or an addition to the space station it's outside. So it allows for outside experiments.
Yeah.
So whether you're testing, biology and how biology is affected by the vacuum of space or this or that. So my question during the NASA press conference that they did, because my immediate thought was we could put a telescope on that. And it would be dependent on where the whatever angle the space station was at and things like that. So it would be very dependent on that.
But how would you keep up with that moving 17,500, whatever it is, 18,000 miles an hour? How would you do that? I have no clue. I mean, you would. I know that tracking and stuff. Can something move that fast? Can it track that?
Yeah. That I don't know, but Hubble is moving at similar speeds, but it's not. It's a dedicated thing that points, as it needs to. Told me their answer to me was that there's already been a couple of companies interested in putting solar, like heliophysics telescopes, on Bartholomew, whatever it's called. I will butcher a name. It's something like that, but it's like the French pronunciation.
Oh, okay, cool. Fair enough.
It's like some kind of weird pronunciation of it, but and it means something, I'm sure. But that's what their answer was, is that heliophysics. I was like, oh, cool.
That would be amazing. I know that they've that's one of the reasons that they that's how they found out that tardigrades could or extremophiles could last in the vacuum of space. They did the experiment. That's really cool to put stuff on the outside of it just to see what would happen to these different things, especially if it's something that, you're not trying to end your life that we're worried about, don't put fish out there. But that's one of the really cool things that we have, so at Discovery Center, we've got, whenever you look at all the different things we have at Space Lab, you see the different areas where they would do certain tests with stuff. One of the coolest ones was, so they've taken different animals up here and there just to see how they deal with microgravity. And if I remember correctly, one of the weirdest ones was fish. Fish were just like fish in water in micro G, just were not having a good time.
Really
trying to figure it out. That's a really interesting thing.
Yeah, because they can probably actually still feel the pull of gravity, but they know kind of where down is, right? Or down. That's interesting.
Yeah. How do you move through water? It's crazy. Because so we simulate not having that. That's how astronauts train in water, because it takes the weight out of the spacesuits and so on. So now what? What does it do whenever you're used to moving through water, and that's how you swim? Is that those feelings. I don't know how it changes, but I think it's fascinating.
Bartolomeo.
We don't. You have. I thought it was French.
I don't know what it is.
Looking it up right now. But by the way,
all I know is that's not how it's spelled at all.
I do want to give Kyle a shout out. Not only is Kyle a very good friend of mine, he's done some stuff for me at Stardom. Just good friend. And whenever I went to my first launch about a year ago, look at Travis. Travis dropping it.
Bartolomeo.
So what I love about Travis is that Travis tries to tell me he's not interested really in space, even though he works in one of the coolest jobs in the world. And then in the middle of something, he'll totally drop something that only somebody that's a space nerd knows. Now, he doesn't – it's not all of it. He doesn't know everything like none of us do, but he tries to also play like he's not as interested by it as he is. And he always ends up dropping stuff that most people don't know, which is great.
We were looking at M51, Leslie, but we went to somewhere else. So
Haumea.
Well, really?
Yeah.
Haumea.
Haumea.
It's a dwarf Where was planet. That comment? Oh, it's a dwarf planet, huh?
Way back, yeah. I didn't forget. It was either Haumea or Makemake, and I chose Haumea.
I saw that comment, and I was like, I'm not even going to put that up because there's no way.
No, it's 17th magnitude, so it's
there. It is.
But it's there. It's the
or
one
Makemake.
Yeah.
But that's it, huh?
I'm not going to do the other. I'm not going to do Makemake. If you say Makemake, right? They're both little dots, so they're really faint. But hey, there it is. That's it. Pretty sure it's either that or it could be that one, but I'm pretty sure it's that one.
It's that one, yeah.
Or one of these two.
One of
you
those
can say
two.
You saw it, yeah. Yeah.
Let's take a quick spectra and analyze it.
There we go. Yeah.
The Ralfinger protocol, and go ahead and.
What had happened was.
I'm just trying to conjure like if I was a writer for Star Trek, like some of the ridiculous things they say.
Yeah. So, I just want to show something real quick too, if I may. Is it okay if I share my screen just real fast?
Yeah.
I want to show something just real quick. Is that so we got Kyle in the comments right now, but he's also been out looking at some stuff. So that's one of the images that he just sent me. So there's a couple people that are out like while they're watching our stuff, they're also sending in stuff. Like Patrick just went out, he's on his telescope. And I don't think we got to do this before. Normally it's it's Will and it's Stephen that are showing things, but it's really cool to see that there are people that are out there tonight sending us different images from all over the country. Kyle's in Florida, Patrick's in Georgia. That's really, really cool, guys. I think that's awesome. So thank you, Kyle, for sharing your images with us, man.
Yeah, it's like in the field correspondence.
Yeah. In the field tonight is Kyle going, and he's going to show us a little bit of the moon. Bring it on in. Too much.
So,
it was just a ride out of too much.
Just gonna bring it on down. My name is Optimus Prime, and this is the dark side of the moon.
Actually, Stephen Hummel is on the dark side of the moon right now. No, he is. Stephen is based at the.
Where is Stephen Hummel right now? That's great.
Where am I? I don't know.
He is based. Lost in the darkness. He's out there at the McDonald Observatory campsite where you can.
Shut up.
Look, people. If y'all go to McDonald Observatory, don't bring a tent. I mean, really?
We're not a campsite.
Don't bring a tent. They're not a campsite.
We will be kicked out. We will call the cops on you if you try to sneak in here and camp on site. Okay. I can't believe I have to make that clear, but
this is a statement that shouldn't have to be made. But now we're at the Hat Galaxy, which is
the hat. Yeah,
awesome.
It's that funny hat.
The funny hat, yeah, which looks like a flying saucer. It should have been called the Saucer Nebula or something. I don't know. I've never really looked at this and been like, oh, a sombrero.
I see the sombrero.
I mean,
upside down right now.
Yeah. I guess at the right angle. Some of these things, these objects, like the monkey head and the cave nebula. The elephant's trunk, though, does look like an elephant's trunk. I will say that.
Yeah, I will say it. Yeah, that's true.
But most of them are like, really? Hubble's variable nebula, though, does look like a nebula that Hubble found that's variable. So
that's. Accurate. That's an accurate. It's not the most creative name, but it's an accurate.
No, yeah, it's an extremely accurate and good name. Karina says, "LOL, sneaky campers.
Yeah.
How dare they?"
Was that you
And then she
last night, kind of sneaking
And
around?
then she says, "Yes," and then thank you. So apparently she is
You're welcome.
endorsing, I think, camping at the McDonald's.
Oh,
She is like, no, you better not.
No.
Kyle Cohagen. Kyle has this puny 4-inch reflector. Kyle, you need to get a bigger one. Get a bigger telescope. Ow.
Yeah, get a bigger scope, man. You can't do anything with a 4-inch.
Grab my hand now.
No, I actually love my 4-inch refractor. That's like one of my favorite scopes. Not great for stuff like the sombrero to my right here, or left, whichever I guess.
That's so confusing.
It's
so weird.
It's to our right. I think. Yeah.
That way, so it's my left, your right.
You're right.
Toss some salt over your right shoulder. No,
What
but,
is
yeah.
that? That's the weirdest thing. I heard that if you knocked it salt over, my mom used to tell me some of the craziest stuff. And you couldn't put your elbows on the table if you sang it while you were at the dinner table. It was bad luck. I heard all the weirdest, silliest stuff ever.
I heard that too.
It's those old wives' tales, man.
Yep.
Karina says, no, definitely don't not come to the McDonald Observatory with a
Brilliant.
I'm sorry. Of course, everybody that's watching my stream, if any of y'all go try to actually camp at the McDonald, I'm blocking you from all my platforms. Because
down.
You can't do that.
Essential
Stuff's
travel.
closed. Stay home. Wash your hands.
Please stay home. Wash your hands. Stay home. Don't come here. That's what we're doing. You don't have to come here.
Everybody go outside. Love the stars. Enjoy the sombrero galaxy. Don't forget to wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
Get
that off. Don't eat some chicken after you put the off bone. It makes the chicken taste horrible. Just telling y'all.
What's going on, everybody? Dave Chappelle here.
You're too good at that. It's kind of alarming.
Hey,
Chappelle's in this? Oh my god! I didn't mean to click that. Whoops.
Hey, baby, go wash your hands.
Let's get another target in here. What do you want to look at? Haley's comet. Haley's is like, isn't that like 20-somethingth magnitude right now?
It would be very, very faint, I would imagine, and it would be hard to distinguish amongst the background stars. I bet you.
Yeah.
I bet you. Ha 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 ha. And in the Vintage Ventures says that's not what she said. She didn't. I know. I'm twisting her words. I know. I do that.
Estimated magnitude 25.5. No, I can't go that deep. Not
that
in a
is
live
too.
stream.
Okay,
That
so
is
Too
much
deep
for
for the
me.
deep sky, dude. Yeah.
That's like we need the HET to.
that's the
to
deepest
do
guy, dude.
that. Yeah. It's
The
too
deeper
deep for me.
sky, dude. Yeah.
Wow, wow.
James Webb is technically the deepest sky, dude, or will be once his telescope is launched. So.
The monkey head and the
Maybe the
elephant
deadest guy,
are
dude.
up.
The monkey head? Yeah, I'm not exactly sure.
I know elephants is not up. That's in
Yeah, elephant trunk is in Cepheus. Yeah, Cepheus. I'm just trying to think of what's there's so many show stars like M3, M5.
Yeah, that's a good one.
M3 is always a favorite.
Monkey head is up. Oh, it's real low.
A quick note to Kyle. If you're talking about McDonald, McDonald actually has something like 14 of them. He's so you're on the 16-inch scope. Is that correct, Stephen?
Mm-hmm, some are smaller ones.
Sorry, I didn't mean to yell into the microphone. It's just super funny to hear. It's just, of course it is because you have an 82 and a 107, but you hear it's like, oh, it's just our 16-inch telescope where we looked back 8.3 billion years in time the other night. And this is one of our smaller scopes. It's just.
Yeah, there are at least 14 telescopes here. So.
Yeah, this is one of the visitor center scopes, which is not to say that it's not a Ferrari. This is a Ferrari the public gets to go sit in and drive. Technically, not technically.
Oh, I don't know about that.
You get to sit in it.
I get carried away here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get to sit in it and kind of look at it and rub it with a diaper, and that's it.
Wow, that went crazy. So, Kyle, what you're thinking is that So the thing is, Kyle, is that they have what you probably heard, especially me and other friends of ours talk about, is the different special viewing nights where they take the big ones and put them out, which you're allowed to go to see. So that's 36, 82, and 107. I believe I got that right.
Yep.
So the very first telescope I looked through, and Kyle, you probably saw the pictures of me and Billy, who is in San Antonio. We went out to the very first telescope I ever looked through once I became an astronomy fan at 35 years old, 33, 34, 35 years old, was the 82-inch. So I got spoiled a little bit.
Yeah, you did.
Just a little.
Just to be clear, the 82 is generally regarded as the best telescope in the world to look through for visual use, period.
Yep.
Nothing even comes close. So
it was
that was
amazing.
the first one you look through. Like,
Yeah, that'll break you. That's the first one you look through. And I want to go ahead and since John is here with us, I want to welcome on John Reed, everybody.
welcome.
What's up?
Hey, Will. Hey, Stephen. Hey, Ron.
How you doing?
Happy here.
Great to be here. Hey, everyone. For those that don't know me, a lot of people know me through these 50 Things to See with a Telescope books, and that's how I ran into Will. So, yeah, great to be here. I feel like a big noob because I just graduated with my astrophysics degree like last Thursday. So ready to.
Oh, nice! Congratulations, man!
Yeah,
Congratulations
thank you.
on that.
Time to get back into the
Observing.
real world. Yeah. So
Yeah, well, because college does feel like sometimes when you're like deep in the nitty gritty of it, it does kind of feel sometimes like it's an alternate reality, but then the real world does kind of right back at you after you, because now you graduated. Now what?
Yeah, exactly.
Now you've got to go do everything. You don't have like a syllabus lined out for you, right?
Yeah. Well, it was neat though. So I got to the whole time I was at university, I got to work at the Burke-Gaffney Observatory, which is it was the world's first Twitter-controlled telescope. So it's a 24-inch plane wave CDK, and when we use it, even for science observations, for exoplanets, variable star observations, like you name it, you type the code into Twitter.
Wow.
And that's our interface. And then it will wait until the sky's clear, until your object is at the right altitude, and then it'll do the science that you want to do. And it's just mind-blowingly cool how automated it is. And then
a telescope ran by a social media platform.
It's
pretty cool.
Well,
I guess this is too, right? Technically, but yours is
kind of.
Yeah. And now there's 4 of them around the province. So depending on what you're going for, to go on a big wide field one, there's actually a Twitter controlled 4-inch telescope now in a dark sky location. So that's been really cool to have access to. Yeah.
That's excellent. So you just type in command period / execute awesome image, and then you get like an awesome image of whatever. Yeah.
Well, whose idea was this? Like, who pitched this, and who said yes? I want to do that. I want to spend the time to make that happen.
It's a computer programmer named David Lane, and so he wrote. He wrote Earth Centered Universe and a lot of this astronomy software that professional observatories use today. And so that's what enabled him to sort of take the lower paying job as an astronomer for the university, and then develop this platform that's now been really popular.
Absolutely.
So, John, how's it going? Can you please completely start over? I missed everything.
It's Twitter.
So my name's John.
Hi, John.
So Ron, so you were talking about the fish in space, and what was really cool about those, they were minnows, and they flew on Skylab, and they took them up, and they were completely disoriented. They didn't know what was going on. Yep. But they also sent eggs, fish eggs. When the fish eggs hatched, and those fish developed in microgravity, the fish oriented themselves to one side, and they had no issues.
Oh, wow.
So my question is this: was that on Skylab or was that on Spacelab?
Let me confirm.
While you're confirming,
it was Skylab. Because
it's Skylab.
I was right. I don't know if you guys can see me. I'm sort of behind the.
Yeah, there we go.
It's in my wife's new book, 50 Animals That Have Been to Space, and I tagged the page. Yeah, so that's sort of what I'm on the call about tonight, because we've got a contest. that we're
Kind of
running.
serendipitous there, huh? That's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
it was a little foreshadowing.
Yeah. We didn't
what's
even
going
plan
on.
that.
It worked
Just
out.
We
had-
didn't, yeah. But animals in space is a really fun topic because I think it would make a good horror movie, based
It
on
already has.
Wait, there's an animal in space horror movie?
No, so there's a couple of them actually. One of them is so have you seen Brad Pitt's movie? The recent one he did at Astra?
I have
Oh,
not, no, because
You should watch that at Astra. It's so one, it's like a really, dark, deep drama. And there's moments where, space gets rough, right? Bad things happen. One of them that a lot of people saw from the preview is that, we've really settled the moon and there are people there that are doing stuff they shouldn't be doing. And as they're kind of driving around, they get hit by pirates, basically. Like somebody's stolen something.
Space pirates.
But it continues from there. And here's what I love. It's space pirates, but it's moon pirates. So it's moon space pirates. And if you check that out, as the movie goes along, there's something where they kind of mess around with it. But they also kind of touched on it a little bit in the movie Life, the one with Ryan Reynolds. And and they kind of play around with it a little bit because there's some stuff that's on there. And then there's the thing and all that. So, but no, that's actually one, I'm fascinated by that. I definitely want to reach out to you because of like all the interviews and stuff I've been doing. We've been doing a couple different things where one, we've had story time. And like where people have been able to come on our museum organizations websites social media and kind of like read a little bit of the stories that they've written. But I think that'd be just a cool story to do an interview about with you, her, both of you, and talk about that. That's really, really cool.
Yeah, there's so many cool stories and animals that no one's heard of that have been to space, like scorpions and all sorts of like weird stuff too. So like who would think to send scorpions into space? And they went in the Bion spacecraft, the designated animal. They put like 20 different animals on one spaceship and just sent them up for 3 weeks. Like nobody knows about those missions, and they're really cool. So anyway,
that's
interesting stuff.
Yeah.
That's a really cool book. Yeah,
y'all are also forgetting the movie Snakes on the ISS with Samuel L. Jackson. There was that one.
all these mother snakes. IS. I'm not yelling. This is just how I talk.
For those of y'all that were wondering what the last object was, that was the monkey head that we had on there, and now this is Messier 3.
M3.
Nice.
Yeah.
This is the third object Messier logged and said this ain't a comet.
Yep. Third not comet, and it's a globular cluster of several 100,000 stars, and it's 30 something.
Let's get it big.
30,000 light years away. I don't remember.
Yeah, 30,000 light years away or so. Yeah.
And it's really easy to recognize in a small telescope. You can't fully see it on here, but there's 3 stars that are bright that sort of surround the cluster itself, and it makes it kind of unique because most of the globular clusters sort of stand alone, but this one has that sort of unique feature.
Like diamonds over black velvet.
Yeah.
Black velvet in that globular smile.
Wow.
Anybody remember that song? Or am I the only person?
I mean, yeah, absolutely. DJ, I played that song a lot.
But yeah, that's a popular tune though.
Yeah, it is. No, it's a great song, and her voice is gorgeous. Alana Miles, yeah, man,
it's got a good bass line too. It's
and that's a sexy jam, man. It's like that, and there's a bunch of tunes like that where you get into that people end of the night play that jam.
put on my song, man.
It's like, can you play some people who can dance to? Can you play my favorite song? Write it on the back of a $20 bill, and I'll pay it next. Just
yeah, exactly, yeah.
I've used that a lot. It works. It's super funny when somebody comes up like, "I want to hear a song." Be like, "How?" I'm like, "Well, you get a tip." I'm like, "Well, how much?" Be like, "Boys tip 1s, men tip 20s, VIPs tip 100s." And you would not believe the amount of drunk people that are like, "I got to show off. Here's $50 for a song." Like, a fool and his money is easily parted.
So Ron has given us all the tools we need to gather better tips, and that is a good one, though. That is a great tool. Jacob says, "Very cool." If Jacob may join us later, I don't know. I think I emailed him I think I sent it to the right email. I hope I did, Jacob. We sent you an invite. Yeah.
We were talking about you guys earlier. So I mean, I sent him the while we were doing the live stream earlier on Stardom, I was talking about literally everybody on here except for our awesome author.
Yeah. But this is probably, this is probably one of the most famous globulars, I think, in the sky. Well, besides M13. Yeah, I think M13 is probably the most famous. And then, Omega Centauri. So I would say this is probably top 5 for sure. Because, M13 and Omega Centauri are, because everybody from northerly latitudes, especially up where John is, they all, when they come down to Texas, they're all like, oh, can you show us Omega Centauri?
Yeah, it's a popular one. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's right down there. And
still
it's like,
low,
it's like my telescope is like on the ground. And I'm like, okay, I'll just crawl over to the eyepiece over there and you'll be just fine.
I see a couple of questions here I wouldn't mind throwing out. John, it looks like a couple different people are saying that they would like to get it for their niece, nephews, or their kids. Are they good for, or is it good for kids?
Absolutely. It's written for kids. So that's the big challenge I have with the publisher is that, I submit these manuscripts and they're like, you need to cut it down by 50% because it's way too much. There's like so much, like space is just that awesome and publishers just don't get it. They're like, no, cut.
Could you do volumes? Are you thinking about doing more than one? Like maybe like a couple sequel books since you had to cut it down? Is there anything that you want to continue to tell the story?
Well, the next book that we're working on right now is 50 space missions that changed the world. And there's so much there that people don't know about. Like search and rescue satellite networks, all that stuff. The fact that the space age really started in World War II, like people have no idea about. Those V2 rockets past the Kármán line, that's space travel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's our next big project right now. And it went to the publisher 3 months ago and they're still cutting it. So anyway, animals in space. Yeah. So right now, and the reason I'm on the call, this book in the Kindle version is free on Amazon until Tuesday. So don't join Kindle Unlimited. Go down to the small text where it says buy, and the cost is $0. So if you anywhere in the world, Amazon, Canada, UK, United States, you can go on and pick this up for free. And you don't even need a Kindle device. You can just read it in the browser with the Kindle Cloud Reader, which just opens up after you buy it for $0.
Awesome.
And then the contest that we're having, and this is part of Discovery Days with the Discovery Center here in Halifax, is that
maybe my Discovery Center. I was like, what?
Well, it's not the same because in Canada, center is spelled CENTRE.
Nice.
Which makes it different. Anyway, so the prize, what you'll win, first prize is a copy of all 3 books, hard copy. And so you'll get 50 animals that have been to space, 50 things to see on the moon, and 50 things to see with a telescope. And this is an extremely popular book right now. People love this for getting into astronomy. And it's basically 10 items, the top 10 objects per season. And it gives you 1 star map per item with the star hop done for you.
Cool.
So this has been extreme. There's a kid's book for even younger readers as well. This as well, and I mean that's beats out Neil deGrasse Tyson at Christmas time. It's so popular. So we've been happy about that. And the way
are you sure about that? Let me email Neil real quick and check. I'm just kidding.
Oh, we've been next door neighbors on the Amazon bestseller list for quite some time. But the way
that's really awesome.
So the way that you if you download the Animals in Space book and you want to be in the draw to win the other books, just shoot us a note on Facebook on the 50 Animals That Have Been to Space Facebook page, or me directly, John Reed. And I'm pretty Googleable. So just on Facebook or Twitter or whatever. Just let me know that you download the book and I'll put you in for the draw.
Nice. So get the book. I mean, it's free. You might as well.
It's free, and it's so cool. You'll learn a ton that you didn't know, like about the turtles that went to the moon and all the crazy stuff.
You can't see the phone, but I've got it already, man. It's downloading right now. I can't wait to read this. No, but for real,
awesome.
like I really, really want to talk to you about some stuff, man. I'd love to do an interview with you on our Space for You Live. Would love to share it. So somebody that I work with at the Discovery Center here. He wrote a book. I'm in his book. We're really big about stuff that's like that. Books for kids. Education in that sense, things that are going to get people excited about it, especially of all ages. During the normal time of year, we have anywhere from 50 to 100 kids that come through a day. I think there's a lot more to talk about, man, and I'm glad to share it on the platforms that I have too that are like my own. This is right up the alley of stuff that I love to get out to people, so I'm more than happy to share it too. So get my information from Will, man. Hit me up. This is awesome.
Yeah, I will. Yeah. Thanks, Ron. This is great. So I'm gonna sign off in a minute here because it's well after midnight here. I am on Atlantic time, so an hour, even before Eastern. So.
Oh yeah, so it's night. 2 hours over there. Yeah. Well, hey, thanks, John, for coming in. And appreciate you always, hanging out in the lunar lives that I was doing. That's how I kind of met John, and he was like, "Hey, I love these streams. Let me send you a book." I was like, "Yeah, thanks, dude." And so he signed it for me and sent me one, and it was the 50 things to see on the moon. And I was going through it, and it's that one right there, and it was super cool, man. It was a great like read. It's very easy to digestible, and it's a page turner because you don't know what's coming on the next page, like what he's going to highlight, and so it's cool. And I think I may even be in his next edition too with the lunar Texas. So we'll see. Yeah, definitely. Because we have to point out Texas on the moon, and for those of y'all that don't know what lunar Texas is, then you need to watch my lunar live streams because I'm the only person in the world that points that out. So, but maybe John will start pointing it out soon. Who knows? But no, John, that's really cool. Yeah. Well, I mean, we're super happy to have you, man. It was really cool. I'm glad you got with me, and it's cool. I actually seen those books before we met, and so when you hit me up, I was like, wow, this is really cool. Like, I've seen these books around, and so it's really cool to have you. It's a great thing, man. I mean, kids in that range, and even beginners who aren't kids, maybe teenagers and on up to adults, need stuff like that, to help them kind of, I can go point a telescope at the moon, cool, but maybe I can go dig deeper, and find some of the little intricate minutia that might be a little more interesting than just a broad moon. And so that book is a form of outreach, especially Absolutely. With you giving it away, and you're educating. Some kid is going to be 30 years old and pull that book off and be like, this is like one of my favorite books as a kid, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
You're doing a cool thing, man.
I try to give away as much free stuff as possible because I know that like the more free stuff I give away, people they love it so much that they give it as gifts. And it
pay it forward, right?
It's been wonderful to get, have the feedback and have people love it that much. And Celestron got a custom version of this done, and they packaged it with all their beginner telescopes last year for the 50th for the Apollo 50 celebration. So that was a really neat experience as well to work with them.
Very cool, man. Yeah, it's very well done. I mean, it's professionally laid out. It's pleasing to the eye. It draws you in. I mean, just show them the cover real quick. I mean, it's just super cool. I'll put that up while we're because I know we've got some more deep sky objects to look at. But yeah, it's really cool. I love the silhouette. Like that's always my favorite view of astronomers doing their things is the silhouettes, because it could be anybody doing it
Absolutely.
in there. So that's really cool. So I mean, check out the free book, y'all. It's free, and if you get it, it enters you into a contest. And Ron's already entered, so I need to.
Again, that's 50 animals that have been to space is the free one.
And a quick note, John, we got some people asking about your social media. Do you have like your website, social media stuff, places where people can check you out, like what's coming next, the new books and announcements and stuff?
Absolutely. So right now I'm on Twitter at Learn to Stargaze, and that's 2 spelled T-O. Yeah. And then Instagram, Learn to Stargaze should work as well. And those are my 2 main platforms. I'm working on building out YouTube as well.
YouTube is a fun animal to try to tame. I tell you what.
Yeah, my one video that went viral on there, and it was a long time ago. So I have this big Dobsonian, and I was one of the first people to get an image of the space station where you could actually see the modules. And so I made this video on how to do it with the Dobsonian and the DSLR and sort of using it like a cannon and following the space station. Anyway, like 100,000 flat earthers came after me after that.
Yep, I did. I took a video like that as well, and wow, I was not prepared for the flat earthers to come out of the woodwork and just flood my
Oh
post.
yeah, I got this.
Just
I
a
got
warning.
This yeah.
And so, John, there's
Just a warning. TikTok is full of those. Just a warning.
And that's another thing we can do too, John. So on Instagram, Stardom has somewhere around like 78,000 followers. We get huge views for videos, stuff like that. We could highlight that and then also tell people to go check out the book from that. Normally those are really good where I can tie something in and be like, not only are they doing YouTube, they're doing this, but they'll also teach you about the animals in space and stuff too. So totally down for all that, man. I know you got to go, but it was just pleasure. I was glad you hopped on, man.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been wonderful to finally meet all you guys. It's been great.
Absolutely, man. So feel free to join us anytime. You know, I know some of these are late night, of course, but you know, sometimes we get a little earlier thing going on. So you know, next time we're on, shoot me a message. More than happy to have you back on. Come on in, hang out, and partake in some photons with us.
Absolutely,
So.
and maybe in the future, once our schools open up again, because I've got the 24-inch there in the dome, and because you could start hypothetically an hour early, and you could control that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Just and through Twitter, even.
You could control it through Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
So,
that'd be really cool. Man.
It'd be sunset for you, but we'd have totally dark skies here. All right, everyone.
Cool.
I'm going to sign off now. It's great to meet you guys again. Thanks, Will, for setting it up. Deep Sky Dude.
Thanks for coming, man. We appreciate you being here with us.
All right. Rock on.
Have a good one.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, Stephen.
All right. Very cool.
So Kyle said some irony in an author named Reed. I downloaded it and shared it on Facebook.
And you know what's funny is I misspelled John's last name one time. I spelled it Reed, and I was like, "Oh dang it!" I had to go back and like repost it. But
So
he's like, it happens.
Funny.
So you didn't read his name right? Is that what you're saying? You read it wrong?
I read it
You
wrong.
read
You
read
read
it
it wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah, I read it wrong.
You read Reed as Reed instead of red. That's weird. Why would you do that? Yeah.
Well, I don't know how to read. Anyway.
I think. Yeah, go
What
ahead.
we're looking at here is the Coma Cluster, of galaxies. And then the last object was M64.
The black
Black Eye.
galaxy, which Jim nailed it there. It was hard for me to put some of these comments up because I'm putting it over Ron right now, but you know, it's okay because everybody sees Ron all the time. There he is.
You're fine.
There he is.
It doesn't bother me, man. Get everybody's comments. But I mean, seriously, that's the cool thing about joining a live stream like that, man. We're getting a lot of really great comments, people that are loving it, and that's what it's all about.
Oh, absolutely.
Hide me whenever you need to, man. You know I'm here.
And this is a cool comment, from Brett. He says, "I love this live show. First time watcher. I'm glad you recorded all those Texas star parties since this year's is canceled. Yeah, me too. I'm kind of feeling nostalgic with those also. Imaging the Needle Galaxy off of his deck as he watches. So Brett, good to have you, man. Very cool. Thanks for joining us. We are not able to get Omega Centauri.
I wish. Probably my most requested object this point. But unfortunately, I cannot get it from here. It's too low. It's not up yet either.
No, it's not.
It is up. The Mount Lock blocks it, so can't do it. Sorry.
Mr. Briar Richard in the house. Good old friend of mine from the Hodges Gardens Star Party lore. A long gone Star Party, unfortunately.
I got you, Leslie. I changed it. Sorry about that.
Sharon just got the book. There she goes. Jacob's looking for a headphone, so he'll be joining us soon.
Cool.
Stan says, John, you should be out imaging. I think that's where he just went, probably. If I could show the footage of the object hitting the moon, it's great. I could show that one night, or tonight, maybe later when we're toward the end and we're feeling spry. We might do that. Come to Sydney and show me how to use my gear. Stan, we do make house calls.
If you pay the airfare,
yeah, you got to get us there and back, and feed us 4-star meals while we're there. But luckily, I know a guy who makes 4-star meals in Sydney, so good to go.
You do?
Yeah, a friend of mine works at one of the better restaurants in Sydney called Catalina. His name's Mark Axisa. He's like a chef over there, and like this dude cooks amazing food. It's like a super high class place. I forget the Michelin rating, but they have a really high Michelin rating. and it's apparently hard.
Listen, here's the thing: if you have 1 star, like there is no bad Michelin rating. Like if you get the Michelin rating, man, that means you're it. 1 means you should go there. Period. 2 means that if you're somewhere around the area, you should try to. 3 means that you should travel there. You should go.
It's a destination.
It's a destination. It really is. And that's the thing that's a big one. So I love this one real quick. Cut out of the corner of my eye. Travis said he's liking these galaxy names. He only knew 2 before. So Travis is Travis, can I say where you work or not? I know you kind of mentioned it, and I think we mentioned it a little bit before. So I try to be careful just because he's got a lot of work to do, man. The guy stays busy like crazy 12-hour days and stuff. But so he works for a major rocket company. He does some really cool things. But he's the guy that's in the field, working on building all these really cool things that are going up. And it's kind of the engineering side, kind of the running everything that's going on there. So when he looks at Deep Sky, that's the one I changed for Leslie. Yeah. So, well, and right now, so I've got the video behind me, and I love this. So the video that's playing now, that's behind me, is the new Hubble video for the Hubble 30th anniversary. So you'll see it change as it goes through all these the cool stuff, and it will go back to the cosmic grief in a minute.
There you go.
Of course, absolutely, Leslie. Sorry about that. I actually didn't realize it because I was leaned over, and I didn't realize it was so there was an explosion, like a supernova going off behind my head, and I didn't know it was there. And then so I moved, it got really bright. So I'm really sorry about that.
I agree with Jim. This is a nice central bar. So what is this?
This is M109.
M109.
By, who was that? Tuan Nguyen?
Tuan. Oh, Messier 109. There we go.
Yeah, that's a good one. Very, very pronounced bar and little kind of Ansei, or I guess is what they're called. On the end of the bar, you can kind of see it bulges out again a little bit. But still with very pronounced spirals. So, yeah, that's a nice one. It's a really pretty galaxy.
And we're looking at what about 30 million light years or so?
I'd have to Google it.
We got somebody coming in here. I got to click some buttons here.
Oh, Jacob.
Where's it? There we go. What's up, Jacob? How you doing, man?
Hello.
Good.
Welcome.
What you up to?
Just chilling. Just hanging out.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing too.
Yeah.
You got coffee?
Nice,
or juice?
Nice.
We'll take juice.
Orange Julius.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Looks like a TIE fighter. Okay, so I did like that. It's that nice central bar. I've never heard that term before, and I love it. So there's another thing that I don't mention a whole lot too, and one of the reasons that I love it. So mine's more space media, talking to all the amazing people that do that. I really love talking about the meanings of all the things. Jacob, mute it. What are you doing?
Oh no, it's like,
are you chopping somebody up? Is this Ozark season 3? What are you doing?
get in my chair.
He was moving the body. Yeah.
He's moving. Yeah. Well, what's super funny is that we were doing a live stream a week ago. Jacob was on, and Jacob, I think it was his little one that was kind of crying. So Jacob always gets hit with something.
My son was singing.
Your son was singing. That's what it was.
Yeah.
But I love that term, nice central bar. That's the first time I've heard that. And I love that. I was like, nice central. I'm like, oh, that makes perfect sense. So yeah. I'm not the astronomy master here. It's definitely these guys, man. Like Will has taught me a ton about astronomy by being the host of my channel's virtual star parties and mooncasts and stuff. So I always love it getting in these comments with here and with Opt over on Twitch. Is all the different stuff that I learned from you guys. Like it's a bunch of, half the time I don't know what you're talking about. So anybody that's in the comments that doesn't know, man, I'm right there with you. So just stick around and you pick stuff up the more you're around it.
Yeah, I say it all the time in my live streams that, a lot of these things that you hear, focal length, aperture, focal ratio, focus, prime focus, like there's 1,000 terms I can sit here and name. And you may hear that term and you may be like, what? But then like the 10th time you hear it, you're hearing it in different contexts every time. And so you're you'll start to put this stuff together. So, you know, like Ron, don't be ashamed, you know, to hear these terms for the first time. That's all part of it. And in fact, the more you hear these terms, the better you'll get at not only being able to like recognize them, but then eventually you'll be like, oh, like, I mean, yeah, I know some things about astronomy, you know, and whatever, but it was only like 5, 6, 7 years ago that I finally figured out what aperture and focal length and focal ratio meant. Like field of view, it was all just these nonsense terms that all these people were telling me. And I'm like, field of view, whatever. I don't even know what that means, but I like how much of this I can see in the eyepiece, right?
Yeah.
Like I didn't know how to articulate it out yet.
You need
so you just, yeah, you just have to be forced this stuff, and eventually you're like, oh, okay, you know. And it was like I was telling Ron earlier, like, you know, Ron and I love the moon, and you know, we're lunatics, right? So we do a lot of the stuff with the moon. But over time, you kind of develop, you kind of know where it is at all times, and you know, so like you become kind of like moon aware or like Luna aware. I don't know, but you'll even in the daytime, you'll like just look up and oh, there it is, you know, and you may not even been looking for it, but you saw it, and you took a second as a human to say, oh, I saw the moon. Yeah. And I think that's the difference. You know, everybody's just seen the moon. But has anybody really like seen the moon, you know, like in their minds?
Observed it, yeah.
Yeah, and really just, you can look at something, but have you seen it? You know, like I think there's two different things there. And when you see something for the first time, usually it's Saturn for a lot of people, it really wakes their mind up. Like when you see Saturn and you're like, wow. Yeah. But like that galaxy right there, I've looked at all the Messiers, and that was to me, I've never really seen it like what Stephen just showed us. But look at that thin thing right there.
Yeah, this is a great example of an edge-on lenticular galaxy, not a spiral, not an elliptical, and it is what's it called again?
Wow, that's incredible.
4762. 4762.
Stephen, would you mind giving us a breakdown on that? Because somebody actually did ask that in the chat. They're wanting to know, like, I know of the spiral galaxies, but are there other shapes? And then Kyle came in and said globular, irregular, elliptical, lenticular, and peculiar. But would you mind giving us a breakdown of what the different ones are? Because I personally don't know either. I'd love to learn that.
Sure. Yeah. So I should add before I launch into long, detailed explanations that if you're watching this and you're like, this is really cool, but I don't know what any of this means kind of thing, and you really want to learn more, I have another live stream from the official McDonald Observatory account. If you search for that on YouTube, where in a more organized way, I really explain in a lot more detail what it is you're going to see in the telescope. So got some kids in the background there.
It's me.
That's fine. But so yeah, I'll break it down a lot more, and I have visuals and everything. So this is more of a hangout session. I don't want to take up the whole thing with lots of explanations. But I think this is a great time to talk about different galaxies. So our Milky Way is a spiral, right? And spiral galaxies are, well, you know, they got the spiral shape. We saw the Whirlpool galaxy earlier on. Nice, obvious spirally things going on, and they're usually kind of disc shaped. And then there's the other kind of on the opposite end, there's elliptical. And we looked at the Coma Cluster earlier on, and that was a whole bunch of elliptical galaxies. When elliptical galaxies are basically just big sphere-ish or kind of egg-shaped blobs of stars without a lot of detail. And those galaxies are often very ancient, very old, and they basically form from merging lots of other smaller galaxies together. And in the process of merging, all their structure and spiraliness got all messed up and torn around, and what's left over is just big blobs of stars. And then kind of in the middle are lenticular galaxies, which they're sometimes spiral shaped. This one we're viewing edge-on, so it's a disk, right? But it doesn't have much structure aside from the disk and a kind of a brighter core. This is also got a black hole in the middle, very active. And so this galaxy, lenticular galaxies in general, are kind of smooth, generally featureless disks with sometimes some other features, but that's really it. And they're not forming new stars. They're red and dead. Their star formation is essentially stopped. Yeah, and then the other kinds, peculiar or regular, you know, that they're often the results of galactic mergers mixing things up, and the ones that basically don't fit into the other categories. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a. Did you mention dwarves or did
Oh no, I didn't.
Okay.
Dwarf
Because-
galaxies are small ones that usually orbit larger galaxies.
We can't forget the dwarves because we have two of them that if you live anywhere south of the equator, you know very intimately the large and small Magellanics, the Magellanic Clouds. Those are naked eye galaxies that are they're both dwarfs, though, right, Stephen? I think they're both dwarves in orbit around the Milky Way.
Yeah, they're satellite galaxies. Yeah, they're dwarf, and there's actually a lot more dwarf galaxies around the Milky Way. Those are just the
Leo,
two bigger ones. Yeah.
Yeah, there's Leo Minor. I think is it?
Yes.
Leo.
There's a lot. There's actually dozens of them.
The Sagittarius dwarf. It's like
Mhm.
a dwarf galaxy that's sort of in the Sagittarius arm, like toward the Milky Way, like toward the center, which is kind of interesting. So there's a lot of cool, but what the I think my favorite in as far as visual is what you've got right here, man. These super thin edge on, just a dinner plate sideways, man. I find that so fascinating. But then look at the edge, like follow the edge out, and you see these fans of material. Those are stars that have kind of been washed out of the galaxy, probably due to a collision at some point. That it's kind of in an unstable phase where it's kind of in a wobbly kind of form, but you can see that it's mostly got its kind of spirally shape back. So, I mean, Stephen, you would think that this galaxy might look a little like M109, probably, if we could turn it and look at it from the side.
Maybe it's hard to say. It's hard to say because M109 had a very strong central bar, and this one down here also is barred, and
right,
or kind of peanut shaped. It's hard to tell when they're perfectly edge on if it really has a bar or not. Sometimes they bars can do this weird thing where they the central part. So when we view it face on, it's a bar, but if you view the central part edge on, it oscillates over time and creates this sort of double peanut shape lobes, and that's kind of sort of what we were seeing in M109. Or sometimes it can even form a cross shape or an X as the bar kind of oscillates vertically. And we don't see that in this one very much, at least to my knowledge. Maybe Jupiter imagery shows it, which leads me to believe it's probably not barred. It's probably
not barred. Okay.
Yeah.
And then Travis has a question. Does the shape show how old it is, or it forms one way and stays like that? So most galaxies are colliding, right? And then there is that in phase of if they're really, I guess they're all about the same age, though. Galaxies aren't really being formed right now. All the galaxies that could form, I guess, are formed, right?
Yeah, identifying the age of a galaxy is tricky because, generally speaking, galaxies are the results of other smaller galaxies merging together. So which one was the first one? It's kind of like what was the first blob of what a larger blob. But yes, generally speaking, the older galaxies they tend to get rounder because they merge together, and that destroys their shape. But if a galaxy runs out of star-forming material and it's basically very, very old, but it's in a very empty area of the universe, it may not form an elliptical. It may form something more like this, but just without the spiral structure usually disappears first over time, though. But there may still be a disk.
And then it blows the gas, so that you don't, in those big elliptical galaxies, you never see H2 regions or really star-forming regions of any kind. I mean, maybe they're in there, but it's just they're so drowned out by the surrounding stellar material. It's just like, okay, you'll never see an I've never seen an H2 region in an elliptical galaxy. So
right, yeah.
And for those of y'all that are wondering, an H2 region is like the Orion Nebula. We have an Orion Nebula in our Milky Way. Well, it's just somebody else's Orion Nebula in their galaxy, wherever that is.
Where stars are being born, really.
Yeah, so it's a stellar nursery.
Yeah.
And we all know and love the Great Orion Nebula, but somebody else might call it the whatever alien speak nebula, or they might not even call it a nebula at all. Want to say hey to Jeff Spikes real quick, watching from Groves. What's up, good buddy?
There's a skunk outside. I smell it.
So a quick note Brett here. Brett mentioned, it's like, you guys know Hubble's launched 30 years ago yesterday. So if you see the video that's playing behind me, that's actually the greatest hits of Hubble. So last night I talked to one of the astronauts that he was actually the pilot for the fourth, which was the penultimate mission to go to Hubble to fix it. So I had this stuff playing in the background last night whenever we were talking about his mission. And the really cool thing is that Dwayne Digger Carey was an astronaut that got to fly this mission, but years before Hubble was something that really, really touched him and like really meant a lot to him. And he looked up and he looked at these images and was blown away kind of about what's going on by this right behind me. And so he got to fly one of those missions, and it just blew his mind that he got to be able to do that. So that's just a really, really cool thing. So absolutely, man, I think that pretty much everybody here probably knows that. I'd be surprised if they don't. And just a quick shout out real quick. And I know I want to go to Jacob too. I know he's been on here for a while, but I mentioned earlier that Travis does some really amazing things. Travis works at SpaceX and has for a very long time. There's a lot of things that happen and continue to happen because of the work that him and his team do. He is a wealth of knowledge, and he's actually, so it can be difficult to get a tour at SpaceX, and because of the Hans, who runs the Brewing Company, Bill, who is one of the creators and main people that runs the SpaceX Facebook group, like the big one that's like 60,000 some people. They reached out to Travis, and within 3 or 4 hours on a late Friday night, just like this, they were able to get me a tour, and that was because of Travis, who took me through that whole building and told me about everything. I can't tell you what I saw. There's absolutely no pictures allowed, but he is an exceptional tour guide because he's been there for 8 years, and he's kind of the problem solver. So just want to give a big shout out to somebody that's going to make Mars happen, which is a big deal for me because I want to go to Mars.
Yeah, dude, that's amazing. And I mean,
it's awesome.
There's just no doubt. I mean, you can say what you want about SpaceX or Elon, but what SpaceX has been able to do in rocketry, is just outstanding. I mean, landing the booster phase back at Kennedy or on the barge. I mean, that's just unreal. And so it's really cool to see their progress and see how far they've come. Plus, I'm still on SpaceX's side, no matter what people say. I know there's a lot of, there's controversy here or there, and I may have opinions on all that too. But at the end of the day, I'm still a SpaceX fan because, I mean, down here in Boca Chica, it's like 15 hours from my house, but I say down here, it's like Texas is ridiculously large. But that's cool, man. They're going to be launching stuff where I could actually probably film the thing from the Gulf of Mexico up here near Galveston. I'm like all the way around the curve. But who knows? I'd probably be able to actually.
Dude, you can go. You can just drive there. And here's the thing too, is that if they decide to start doing some stuff, so I'm super, super fortunate. And actually, she's the one that introduced Will and I, is Sarah Silva, who has done a lot of work for Stardom. We climbed Kilimanjaro together, man. She's just an incredible person.
Sarah's awesome.
She got in her car and she's like, Ron, I'm going to drive down to Boca Chica. There was nobody really with any pictures of the very first Starship yet. She drove down, took her camera, and we've got pictures that she took where it's the sun on the tip of the Starship and setting behind it. And it's absolutely gorgeous. And this was before everybody went down there. The press, I mean, this is before it really started getting a whole ton of press too. So we got some really cool pictures really, really early on, thanks to her. And what they're doing, I mean, as much as I love astronomy, I mean, that's what I want to do. I want to get my degree in astronomy. My goal is hopefully, we look, 5-8 years down the road, is that I get to come down and work with Stephen, and he's, running the 82 and I'm doing some research, and then going back and doing some cool stuff, bringing, him up to, the Space Foundation, and we're doing some cool talks. Like, so we did some stuff last night. Let's look at these images, and this is some cool stuff, right? But to be able to do that, but my goal is I want to do the 7 summits. I want to climb all the 7 summits of the world, the highest mountains on each continent. I want to get my degree in astrophysics, and then I want to go to Mars. Like, I want to die on Mars, and I want to die on impact, and I don't want to be the first one. I'm fine with the first 1,000. That's what I want to go. And that's true. And Travis, we got to talk a little bit more about that too, because I got to pick your brain about some stuff about some people I would love to talk to. But so Kyle, be very, very careful about going to that. And I know that you live there and stuff. They're saying directly that they don't want people there. From what I understand, they are going to be patrolling the beaches, finding people that are trying to watch the launch. They don't really want people out there. If you think you can safely do it, please go. Even as like we have had media, we were at the Demo 1 launch. Sarah was there, like the whole press conference and everything. Be very, very careful about that. I prefer that everybody stays safe. Nobody in this world wants to go to that launch more than me and go take my first pictures of a rocket launch for that. They're saying no. They're saying stay home. I'm not gonna risk it, man. I would love to fly out there for that. I'm gonna miss it, but you know what? I hope to be there when they fly astronauts to the ISS and they can stay. So that's a big one for me. Sorry, I'll hop down off my soapbox there, man. These are things I'm really excited about. These are all of my passions in one.
Well, why don't you introduce our other guest here, Jacob?
Yeah.
Jacob. Oh, man, perfect timing. So Jacob and I did a live a little bit earlier. So a week ago, we hopped on the Gibson Pix one I'm talking about that's on Twitch where, Opt Telescope's owner, one of the co-owners, has a show every night where he live streams similar to this for 3 hours. And what Stephen does with these really huge telescopes, he's got multiple telescopes out in Joshua Tree, and he allows people to control them. He wants 62 around the world so they can have 24-hour coverage and you can control them. Stephen came on last week for a little bit and showed some really cool stuff to us. And Stephen, a couple hours after you left, I met Jacob. Jacob's a space artist, amateur astronomer, and I don't know if you know or not, but Jacob's right around the corner from you. He's in Houston.
Yeah, we've actually been chatting for the last week or so.
About a week
on Instagram, chatting back and forth. He's been kind of showing me some of his art and pretty credible stuff, man. The spaceman painting that he's working on, it's pretty good stuff.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you have any of that stuff, dude, that you could or anything that you could maybe show us?
Let me take a walk. Give me a second.
Yeah, because I know what Jacob does is he does these live streams on Instagram, and he basically paints in front of your face. He was doing a Jupiter one night when I was checking out his stream, and it was really cool, man. Instagram is an interesting platform to go live on because it's just I've never had a good experience, but it looks like everybody that does normal things besides trying to broadcast the moon, they have a good time over there. But yeah, there you go. That's a painting, y'all. It's not actually a picture.
He's that good. A lot of his stuff is photorealistic. So he took that. He was telling me about it earlier today. He takes that photorealism that he used from painting animals and stuff and put that. So look at that. Hold on. You tell him.
All right,
there you go.
That's M78.
Awesome.
So this is actually this is quite big. This is this is 30 by 40 on poplar.
Nice, dude.
Wow.
So
how much does that weigh?
That weighs 30 pounds. That's a custom built frame for me. So this has hanging holes on the back. This is the Astronaut I'm working on. So that is Earth in the mask. So I had to come up with that. And so I used a cup and then I turned the angle to replicate give
you a nice reference on the
exactly.
ground. Yeah.
So, but this is one I'm going live with tonight to paint. And later, late.
Abigail wants to go to Mars more than you, Ron. Sorry, Jacob, but I just
no, you're good.
Let's go together. Let's all go. Trav, you're gonna need an extra starship. Gonna bring the whole team. Abigail has told me before that she can fit in luggage because she's talented at 18 different things. So she's gonna she's gonna set it up and she's gonna tell us about her. Sorry. I'm thinking about the other name. She's going to give us an entire show on her planetarium while she's playing the piano and doing ballet.
Wow, very cool.
There you go. Which galaxy is that, Jacob? That looks familiar to me.
Oh
that's
gosh,
106.
It's 106. Thank you.
I was about to say, can we get the astrometry on that? Because it's photorealistic, man. That's great.
Well, I'll go there right now. How about that?
Oh, you want to go there? Yeah, that'd be great, man.
We'll go there.
Oh no, you didn't.
Can we put them side by side? That'd be amazing.
We're going to. We're gonna check our artist's accuracy here.
And yes, the ones just before were the ice galaxies. The
eyes, yeah. The eyes are always a good one. Nice and regular. So Sharon Rigsby is the local artist over in the Beaumont way. I'd say one of the better artists over this way. And that's actually one of her sketches of herself right there. That's like a self-portrait. And
Wow, that's really good.
Her pencil is really good. Like she does little caricatures with like Sunday comic vibe to them. And those are on Facebook, and they're always so good. And it's just, especially right now, I mean, even the dry humor is sometimes exactly what you need, and Sharon's definitely good at those. Challenge accepted.
Challenge accepted.
How long have you been painting, Jacob? When did this start for you, and how long has it been going for you?
I've been painting for 20 years, but with space art 2 years. So I'm part of the IAAA, the International Association of Astronomical Artists, as well. So that's about 130 artists international, worldwide. Wow. And so you have to get accepted into that. And it's to help promote space and study of space and astronomy and so forth. So it's a way to do more outreach, really. So I'm part of that. And but yeah, I love astronomy, so I decided to mix both my love for astronomy, taking out the telescope, and my painting into one object.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what we do as artists, right? We take our passions and we salt our art with them, and that's kind of the way we do it, and that's what gives art so much awesome diversity, is we all have different perspectives and different approaches, even in the same medium. Even if I was a painter, I could show you a painting that I did and it's ridiculous. But I was just trying to emulate what Bob Ross does, because, I've watched like 900 episodes of Bob Ross. And I'm surprised I never did pick up painting, because I literally would just watch, and I like binge watch Bob Ross for like hours. I don't know why.
Oh yeah.
I can't even explain why. I just let it roll. Like, no, there's a new episode. Am I still watching? Oh yeah, I'm still watching.
Just a tiny little galaxy. And the thing is that we've all got problems. Just put them away while you take the time. Let me poof my hair on here. Hold on. Let me get the fro a little bit.
Yeah, you got hair for sure.
Yeah,
it's just a happy galaxy that Stephen has here.
Yeah,
he's got
happy little galaxies, happy little spiral arms. Yeah, no, it's this is 106.
Did you guys know that? Did you know that he actually permed his hair? That was actually a joke.
Yeah, and he got stuck with it and hated it. Yeah, man,
stuck with it and hated it.
Yep. No, I despise it. Like, I'm ready to shave it. Like, I cannot stand it. I think I don't know if anybody answered this or not, but I think there's a couple different people that I've seen ask for your Instagram. Did you already say that, Jacob?
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm sorry about that. I didn't want to. Well, and I can see that it's covered up a little bit on your name, and I just want to make sure that people get it, because man, you're doing such awesome work.
Yeah.
So Jacob.Koble. So JACOB.COBLE. And you can follow me on there. I'm about to have a YouTube channel up, as well as my Twitch.
Cool.
So that'll be going soon. But you guys can follow me on Instagram, and I go live every night working on brand new pieces. I should get the Astronaut done by this weekend. That's my plan. And then it's on to something new. I might paint the sun next, but I have some other galaxies that I want to touch upon, and man, the Hubble image today was super inspiring. That was, gosh, amazing.
Oh yeah,
amazing.
Let's can we compare your painting to the real thing? Let's see if you got the field of view right. Oh yeah, man, that's already a dead-on ringer. I don't know how I can split this.
I can.
Oh no, that's wrong.
Let's see.
Yours might be mirrored the other way. Let's see if that works.
You want me to switch it?
It's really close. Steven, can you actually bring out some of the hydrogen that he's got in there, that red? Can you make that pop a little? I'm just kidding, man.
I mean, these are regions. So I think your data has the reference image you used included non-visible light, because there's a really famous picture of this galaxy with
That's right.
beyond the visible spectrum, which is what you're seeing. That was some of the extra kind of things coming off of it.
Yeah,
but
it's beautiful.
yeah, that's really amazing work. That's just,
Look at
So,
that. Yeah, I mean it's dead on. Like, and when I saw this painting, I think when he was doing a live with Ron, or he was doing a live with somebody that I saw, and I saw this one, and I was like, dude, that. I mean, look at that. That is like right there.
Hold on. Let me. There you go.
okay.
Did it freeze, or did I freeze?
No, it's good for me.
Okay.
Yeah,
Am I
it's the
good?
same. It's just yeah, you're good. It's just mirrored, which I can't really fix that. Okay, we gotta like mirror flip it.
Yeah,
But,
you can. Oh, okay. Hold on. Let's see. Let's try this way. That better?
Not really, but yeah.
No?
I mean,
Okay.
one more. Yeah, that's close enough. We get the idea, though. it's definitely a
Awesome.
match. That's cool. That's awesome. And I hear you're wearing an awesome
Yeah,
shirt.
thank you
there.
guys. Thanks for letting me share that.
Jacob, I noticed you're wearing the
Oh,
same
yep,
shirt.
Yep. I love, and what I love too is that I was super glad. So I was looking through some of Jacob's stuff. So a lot of people don't know this, but what I try to do is I'll look through people's Instagram and their social media, and I'll try to casually see like some stuff they do and act like I don't know it, and then mention it. So I was going to bring up McDonald Observatory. Now, honestly, Stephen, I didn't know you were going to be there. But so one of his Instagram, like the saved stories that he has is when he went to McDonald Observatory. So I was going to mention you and talk about the fact we were going to do a live stream tonight, and then I saw him. He kind of panned down to his shirt, and I saw Observatory. I'm like, oh man, what kind of shirt you got on there? That looks pretty cool. It's like McDonald. I'm like, oh, well, that's weird that you mentioned that.
A nice coincidence. Yeah.
McDonald Observatory. Nobody we know on this panel has ever been anywhere near that facility.
We've never been there. Want to film a show for YouTube that we hope gets millions of views, and it's not like it just happened to be Speaking of which, I don't know that you've seen it, Stephen, but I'm pretty sure that I mentioned that in the interview that I did with Neil, because I love the fact that it was in it. And if I didn't get to it, I was trying to. We just got into so many deep conversations, we didn't get around to it. But I wanted to mention the fact that they did do part of the episode of McDonald, and I know you said that was a really cool experience. So, God, it sounds good. It sounds pretentious as hell. I'm so sorry. So, for the new episode, the new season of Cosmos, Neil deGrasse Tyson and Andrew and everybody from the Cosmos team went down and filmed at the McDonald Observatory. And Stephen, you were there for that, man.
Well, I wasn't there, but
you know of it, my friend.
I know of it, yeah. Yeah, they kind of shoot us away, and then they filmed, and yeah, I think the observatory people were mostly just there to make sure they didn't break anything, and they got into pretty shots that were doing us in a favorable light, I guess, which they were, of course. But yeah, they did a lot of filming in the '82, and they kind of actually, I think they turned a lot of the film they took and just use that footage to work off of for animations, which actually were really cool. The animations they had on Cosmos, very interesting.
It's really cool.
There was one shot where Neil is on the catwalk of the '82, and they filmed that during the day, and then they made it night in post. And I was like, wait a minute.
So what I'm going to do is I want to do that exact shot. I'm hoping the plan is once it's reopened is that and this is what we were actually going to try to do a couple months back. This is before I met you, Stephen. Was that I was talking to him. I was actually going to take one of those spots, and I was going to try and see if we could get. This is before I was really working with a video camera and was really working with video editing on my own. But now I could just take a camera and come down by myself. Well, not by myself, but come down with Will. But I wanted to. I was going to try and see if we could film some stuff and wanted to put it in one of the upcoming episodes for the Discovery Center's new YouTube channel. Not the new YouTube channel, but the new YouTube show that I'm going to host and produce and all that. And but now that that's been in the show, now I want to do the thing is, whenever you come to McDonald Observatory, you get to see the entire universe. 13.8 billion years? What does that mean? It means there hasn't been enough time since the universe began for their light to have reached us.
You're good at that. You clearly practiced that.
Yeah, clearly.
Well, I watched the show so many times I memorized it, and the best part is to be on a like, and I don't know, nervous energy. I just decided to do my impersonation of the man while I was talking to him, and I also did Carl Sagan too, which he thought was pretty funny. So I'm glad I didn't bomb on that one. It's not like it wasn't live on 6 different platforms, including my own personal Facebook. So it worked out really well that we had a really good time, just like we were doing here, man.
Real quick, Jacob, are you planning on
that.
doing YouTube tutorials on how to do space paintings?
Yes, I do plan on doing tutorials on YouTube on how I paint space. I'm actually going to do from it'll more or less be a time lapse with me talking over it on what tools I use and so forth to share, to give out. I'll probably start with something like a nebula where it's quite easy to do. Where it's a lot easier than planets. When you get to the moon or those type of things, there's so much detail. You have to really look at the lighting and where the lighting is coming from, and it's that's the same with planets. When you're painting planets, you have to think, where's the sun in orbit and so forth.
Definitely.
So the plan for these paintings is I am making a book of all my space art for this year and a little bit of the work from last year. And so that will be my very first book. The Astronaut is the front cover for my book. So it'll be it'll be really cool. So it'll have planets, nebula, different types of moons. I do want to paint Europa from the surface, so
cool,
where the ice is breaking and shooting streams of water out to space. So that's one idea I have coming up. I plan on doing Saturn, where it's from the rings view instead of the typical view that you always see, but where you see the rocks of the rings from Saturn. And but this will be my first book, and then I'll start next year on my second book, which will probably be just planets and moons, and keep building it. It's going to be several volumes, but that is just one way of promoting my work that would be great for people to flip through when they're at home. Then just I love astrophotography, and I thought, well, man, these guys should create books of their astrophotography. I could do the same thing with my paintings. So that's the plan.
Definitely, man. Definitely. That's awesome stuff. I mean, it's always cool to try to blend science and art. I guess try is a dumb word there. I think it's for people like us, for me and Jacob, and anybody that does any kind of art with space themes to it, it's kind of our drive. We have to. It's like a compulsion. Jacob's been painting a while, but he only started doing the space stuff recently because something compelled him. There was probably a lot of different factors in it, but at some point space grabs you. You know what I mean?
Jacob's got a pretty cool story about that he shared today, if that's okay, if he mentioned it, because and honestly, it's kind of funny too. I think that Will, that you'll dig this because it happened in your city, in your area, when he went to a Comic-Con. Dude, you gotta tell him that. I love that story.
Cool.
Yeah, okay. So I do Comic Palooza in Houston, and that's the largest Comic-Con in Houston. And I hadn't had a booth for the first several comic conventions that I did, and I decided to open my own booth. And so the very first booth, I did made up nebulas just to see what kind of traction I would get. And my booth was almost sold out. But the comments I kept getting in those 3 days were, can you paint the Orion Nebula? Can you paint the Horsehead Nebula? And so forth. You know what? I'm actually going to show you guys some of those pieces real quick while I tell the story. So,
all right.
Or I should... Maybe another day, because I think I moved my print somewhere, and it's probably lost at this point.
I got my hopes up.
Yeah, so...
this is M13, by the way, if you're curious what this is.
Beautiful. Yeah. So what I did was I brought those paintings the next year, and it was fantastic. So NASA has a booth at the Comic-Con, and so I had engineers from NASA coming over and buying my paintings, to young kids, adults, and usually Fridays are very slow days, and I sold 2 originals on a Friday, which is crazy. And it was amazing. It probably also helped. It was Apollo 11's anniversary, so people were in that space vibe. But at the same time, you have Star Wars, Star Trek, all of these big space movies going on, that people thought it was amazing that I brought original work that wasn't sci-fi related, but factual. So I have a pretty cool story. One of my collectors who's actually getting this painting, I'm about to mail it out. He lives here, and he just bought that piece from me. He works for NASA. He is an engineer there, and I collect lapel pins. So on this side of my hat is McDonald is in the middle. Palomar is right here, and Lowell is right here. One of my bucket lists is to actually go to every observatory that I can in my lifetime. Well, my friend knew I liked lapel pins, and he gave me an ISS lapel pin that only NASA engineers can get.
Oh.
And he brought it to me, and he said, "Hey, this is for you." And I went, "Wow, okay, now that's pretty awesome," and it's just a tiny little ISS lapel pin. And
Yeah,
it meant the world to me. Like, just the space community in general, man, it's so much fun. I love it. I'm actually glad I left the fine art world in that sense, because I get to share my passion for astronomy in a different way. It's, in many ways, it is very scientific to paint accurate depictions of space. It really is not easy at times. Jupiter was very difficult to paint. I thought maybe I bit too much out of that one. And I just started just working really hard. Like, it took me a week to paint that Jupiter, but at the same time, oh gosh, when I got done, I was like, okay, this might be my favorite. Like, I don't know if I could sell it. That's kind of how I feel. It's one of those landmarks as an artist where I go, okay, I really need to up it. I need to do better next time. What else can I paint? And so I am looking at more planets.
That's gonna be
That's
awesome.
awesome,
Looking
man.
forward to that.
That's really
Yeah.
cool, man, because you never know. I mean, I know we need to split off to this object because everybody's like, is this what I think it is? It is. But it's so cool that, like, sometimes you never know where the cosmos will strike you down. You never know where. You could be a little kid out in your backyard after a day of riding your bicycle, looking up at the stars like, what? Or you could be a guy at a Comic-Con, who's doing paintings, and then boom, it all kind of comes together. You could be a guy who is a space kind of fan, and then he watches a show and it changes his life, like Ron.
What?
And,
What's that? That's a crazy story. Nobody has ever watched the first 15 minutes of Cosmos, decided that, you know what, this whole DJing thing isn't for me. I don't like money at all. I want to go make a quarter of what I make here. I want to put at least $20,000 a year into a business that's not making me any money, and hope that someday somebody will hire me before I go into complete poverty. There's no way anyone would ever do that.
Oh, that's a ridiculous scenario.
It's just horrible.
Thank you,
Absolutely
Space.
horrible. Well, see, I was 12 years old when I first saw the moon through a telescope, and
wow.
And I ended up getting my very own telescope, an Orion refractor, and spent all of high school in the backyard, just chasing after the Terminator on the moon. That was my favorite thing in the world, to just go along the Terminator, and I would spend hours in the backyard doing that. I never thought that I would ever paint space. That wasn't something that I ever thought of doing. But I'm glad I'm doing it. It's been the best adventure ever as an artist. I mean, I've gotten to meet amazing people like you guys and be invited to have talks about what I do. So
Awesome.
it's fun.
Absolutely, man. Well, you're nailing it, dude. Your art reflects reality. And I mean, if I think I can make a suggestion to you, maybe you should paint this object right here, which would be
Nice.
would probably be, like, okay,
Smooth.
you're probably you're probably the first person though to paint. You're probably the first person to paint Messier 106. I would imagine maybe the third or fourth, maybe fifth person. You know, you're in a small club of people that have painted that galaxy. I don't think anyone has ever painted Hoag's object ever. I've never seen a painting of that. There's an awesome Hubble image of this. It would be great reference.
Yes,
But
I mean, you should look at the Hubble picture and base it off that rather than this grainy thing.
Yeah, but the scale of this thing, I think, is something that needs to be said. I mean, this is an amazingly small object on Stephen's screen right here, even with a 16-inch telescope doing, several,
awesome.
how many minutes? Yeah, it's
30 seconds. This has been running for 4 minutes of exposure.
Okay, so about 4 minutes of exposure there, but you can see how faint and far away this thing is.
Over
and it's a
600 million light years.
600 million, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
600 million light years.
I'll do this. I'll paint that next after the Astronaut.
That's awesome.
There you go.
Yeah. I would love to see.
That way, you guys. If it hasn't been done, that's one thing I'm trying to do. Is I'm trying to paint galaxies and nebulas that not everyone's painted to get more awareness to other beautiful things in our galaxy and in our universe in general. So yeah, I would absolutely love to do that. I'll do it. That'll be the next one.
Another good one is Miles object. Miles object is another good one. Miles object. After like the mile astronomer, that's another really small obscure galaxy, but the Hubble picture is pretty amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What is your Bortle scale, Stephen?
It's really good. We're somewhere around a 1 or a 2. So I mean, again, we have very, very dark skies, so I can aim anywhere, and I'm not really worried about light pollution.
Which must be super nice, man, because we don't have that luxury down here.
Yeah.
I have several trees also that are in my way, and some that I'm going to cut down, but one that I can't cut down because it's just too nice of a tree for me just to hack it down because I want to see Venus in the west. So I'm going to leave that tree, and I'm going to take down a bunch of other trees because it's all about horizon in astronomy. The more horizon you can get, the better. But then again, you can't really image or visually look under 20 degrees of horizon.
Yeah.
So most of the time you're imaging or taking pictures or, visually looking at stuff that's pretty close to straight up. I mean, typically, but Brett says he's jealous because Oak Cliff is Bortle 9. That's about as worse on the Bortle scale as you can get right there.
Yeah, I grew up not too far from there. I know how bad it is there. Yeah.
Really? Yeah, that's cool, man.
Here's my I don't have color on my screen. I hope this is the color version for you guys.
It is color, yeah. It is color, yeah.
Okay. Someone asked Ben Field's question there. You could put that up.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you think you'll capture the second ring galaxy in the background? I haven't really resolved it, but it's there. This is a 9-hour exposure here. So there's a tiny little amazing smudge. That's the second galaxy in there. So yeah, it is possible. I didn't know if that was actually possible with a ground-based telescope. I've never seen an amateur. I've never seen a picture of that from a ground-based telescope. I mean, if someone finds one, let me know. But I've been looking, and I kind of want that bragging right. So
yeah, I think you've earned it here, man. I mean, because That the whole object, Hoag's object, is what 17th magnitude, 18th.
Yeah, it's 16 and a
Oh,
some
16.
change. Yeah.
That other object is in the 20s, right? 21.
Oh yeah, deep in the 20s. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're capturing light that most people like us have no access to. You know, I mean, this is just light that's just too faint. You probably got 1 photon an hour CCD chip from that particular patch of sky. You know.
Yeah, it's really faint. Yeah, we're not picking it up here in this 8 minutes now on this live picture. But I wouldn't expect that. Yeah, the long exposure that was made of 10-minute frames stacked together. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah, the faintest and the fuzziest of things. That's what I like the most. Go deep.
Yeah, absolutely. Brett says Ben Fields suspiciously seems like Carl Sagan. He does. Ben does look like Carl Sagan a little bit. He kind of has the same chin, a little bit. It's a little bit different though.
That's here. That's home. That's us. Anyone you ever knew, anyone you ever heard of, everybody that's ever lived out their lives.
Right there in Hoag's object. Brian says, nice work. Very good.
Billions and billions.
You gotta follow Stephen on Instagram. You gotta follow
_Stephen. That's my on Instagram.
Hummel _Stephen. I actually have a banner just for him.
Ooh.
Watch. Bam. Follow him on Instagram.
Nice.
Or you're not doing yourselves any favors.
Nice. So if I can give a quick shout out, if you wouldn't mind, Will, could you throw one on the Brian Gibson one that says "nice work" real quick? I just want to give a quick shout out.
Yeah.
Brian Gibson is in multiple ways has been a great friend. So one, he is a volunteer at the Space Foundation Discovery Center. 2, he leads the astrophotography group at for the Colorado Springs Astronomical Society. Another thing is he's done. By the way, he's going to do a show on Stardom with us. We've talked about it a few different times. That we're going to do some stuff with astrophotography. Things kind of went crazy, but he's a leading member there, leading member of our volunteers there all the time. Always puts in help. Always has new ideas. And not only that, he decided that. So one, I got to go to his home to do the astrophotography thing, and his home is gorgeous. It's got this beautiful view of the entirety of Colorado Springs, and man, we live in the mountains. Like we live at the foot of a 14,000 foot mountain, right? And it's this beautiful view. And so he built an observatory, and I mean an observatory, as in like spiral staircase up to. It's absolutely gorgeous. Has his own patch for it. The news came out and did a story on it. That's how awesome this thing is.
Wow.
And here's the thing: is that man doesn't have a potential in his body. He's as kind as it gets. Any help that you want with anything. I'm glad he's on. Actually, I'm surprised that I'm surprised that he caught this, and I know that we're on Stardom tonight, so I know there's some really cool people on there, and I'm really glad that everyone's there. But just had to give a shout out to Brian, who does. I mean, he was a teacher. I'm pretty sure he taught astronomy for a long time. He's a professor. He's just an incredible human being. So, Brian, so glad to see you on tonight. I hope you're still there, and I hope you got to hear this. And if not, I'm going to tag you in it later.
Yeah, tag him at the 2 hour, 11 minute, and 58 second mark.
Yeah,
that was the end of it.
This is probably going to be the last object I look at for the night, y'all. I think we're going to wrap it up with Hoag's. I got to get moving with some other projects, but this has been real, and it's been great to have you all here. This is always so much fun. I love doing these.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, thank you for obviously running the scope again. Stephen messaged me earlier today and was like, "Hey man, it's skies," and I'm like, "All right, let's roll with it." With these broadcasts, sometimes we kind of have to take advantage of because there might be times where the moon is out, and that's definitely going to be affecting Stephen's dark skies. I mean, eventually the moon will be full, and you might as well be at downtown Houston as far as the skies at McDonald go.
Yeah.
But it is still darker. Believe it or not, somehow it is still darker. Brian is still here. There he is. You're very kind, Ron Sparkman. Ron is a pretty kind guy, isn't he?
He's awesome.
Pretty kind.
Brian's killer, man. He does. Nice.
I don't have one anymore. I used to, and then they crashed, and I lost all my stuff. I haven't put it back because I didn't feel like bothering. So sadly, no. Instagram is where most of my stuff goes, even though it's not the best platform for that.
Yeah,
Thank you,
Instagram
Kyle.
is where you should follow Stephen. Yeah, thank you, Kyle. Good to see you, Joshua. Hope to see you on TikTok, man. Thanks. Joshua actually found a TikTok account that stole one of my videos, and Joshua and another account tagged me. They're like, "This is Deep Sky Dude's video," and I saw it and I was like, "Yeah, that's my video." And so that was fun. So thank you, Joshua. I appreciate you recognizing my footage amongst the sea of TikTokery out there. But it was good to have you. Thanks, Ben. Thanks for coming by and sharing some knowledge and having some coffee and astronomy with us. We appreciate that. Syed, thank you for coming. Good to have you. We do these, Brett, as often as we can, man.
Weather and clear skies and dark skies, and we're all free. So it's kind of just like, I'm free. Is Will free? Is Ron free?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and let me say too, like I'm lucky to be on here. Like I have been on and I've been on, watch stuff, and then been like, I've got to go, and then watch the next hour and a half of the show while I was doing other work. I just get to be on here and nerd out, man, like the rest of my job. Just very similar to what I've got to do on the opt stuff too with Gibson Picks and like everything they do on Twitch. I just sit and listen and try to absorb and hope eventually I get to get all this knowledge. It's very similar to the first times when I was watching Cosmos, didn't know what the hell they were talking about, and I just watched it over and over again, and I get to do this all the time with these guys, and it's amazing. It really is.
Yeah, it is really cool, man. I appreciate all of us can come together and do this. And, it really is. It's an online astronomy star party whenever more than one or more than two or three astronomers are gathered. So it is, right? So we're all here together to share a common goal, which is to discuss the cosmos, to understand it better, to help others understand it better. And I mean, it's a little bit of outreach, but it's a little bit of conversation, like that's the best part about this is that we can video chat and voice chat, and it feels like we're all in the same room or at least at the same telescope for most of the evening. And I can tell you that, I've observed on a lot of telescopes, even, whether it's in observatories like what Stephen's doing or out in the, in the desert with your buddies, everybody has their own thing. It feels a lot like this, we've done multiple of these streams and it really does. It feels a lot like this, isn't it crazy, Stephen, how kind of it does kind of feel the same.
It feels like just like I'm at TSP or something or just hanging out. And I know you guys aren't lucky enough to have these guys, but the more I can share it, the more joy it gives me too. It's a lot of fun. Thank you, Miss Burb.
And thank you, Andy. Yeah, thank you, Karina. We'll probably get an entire night of Space Tato coming up.
I'm having. All right, so I'm going to go back to my West Virginia accent. Listen, y'all want to do Night of Space Taters? Man, I'm down there to get Space Tater with y'all. Let's tater it up. And here's what's funny though, is that Ron White, very popular comedian that did on the tour some years ago. His name is Ron Tater Salad. Or taters or something like that. So
tater salad.
Tater salad. You know what, man? I'll be tater salad for a night. Just for you though, Karina. I got you. Burbs. And by the way, is your last name really Burbs? I love the last name. I love the Burbs memes.
She happens to be a former coworker of mine, and so I know who she is. Thank you for coming on.
Stephen knows her. She's a plant. She's only here so Stephen can feel special.
Yeah, I told her she needs to come on and hype me up.
Come on, come say cool things about me. Come on. Like Stephen needs anybody to do that. He's like, oh, look at my 9-hour exposure of Hobbes object over here. The first amateur astronomer probably ever to get that 27th magnitude nothing behind Hobbes object. So yeah, he really needs plants, doesn't he, folks? Brett says he wished YouTube had a love react. Well, thank you, Brett. We love you too, man. Thank you for stopping by and hanging out with us. We appreciate that. Check us all out on Instagram. I know I don't have Jacob's up here, but Jacob's is right there. Jacob.Coble. Coble. I don't
think I've seen mine all night. I mean,
Coble.
This is
That's
the
all right.
first night we put it on Stardom. I haven't seen that Stardom Space all night. I'm just throwing it out there. We didn't promote my book, Will. I've got a book too.
You do. We should just have a night where we promote books. Because
So let me talk about this book, and here's me as a cartoon. And that was a pretty cool moment, by the way. Not trying to take it over, but that was awesome. We'll talk about that later. Really good, man. I love this stuff, man. This is keeping me insane. I mean, it really is. Like with everything that's going on, man. It's hard. Not. I get to do a lot of. I've been doing so many streams, and they're all amazing. They really are. But the thing is that doing those different streams, doing the stuff I did today with Jacob, doing this one tonight, the one with Gibson Picks, the stuff I get to do for Space Foundation on those shows, that's what's keeping me like moving, man. Because some of these days get tough. Being the guy in the digital world, the digital social media space guy, and so many like Stardom and Space Foundation and everything with Explore Mars, we're doing a lot, man. We're putting a lot out there. It's good stress, and I'm glad that everybody's really loving it. But there's some days, man, where I'm like, is this good enough? Like, am I killing it? Like, I wake up and I'm nervous about stuff. Like, is everything, everybody happy about this? I know I'm a ball of energy, and I can be a little much for people. So I love this stuff, man. It's great.
Yeah. Oh, did we lose
Doing great. No,
oh, there you go.
You're doing fine.
You're doing fantastic, Ron. Don't even worry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel honored to
Don't
be in the
worry.
company that I am because you guys are killing it. I mean, Stephen's getting thousands of views. He's changing the world with the McDonald Observatory YouTube page. I mean, you just go check their analytics. It's like boom, the subscriber count, the view count. Ron's killing it, man. He's killing it on multiple fronts and just doing things that some of us wish we could do. And then Jacob just started hanging out, showing us his art, immediately recognizable stuff, the M78, the M106. You should do all the Messiers, man, and just have like an awesome, like here, I painted the Messiers, so hand me a certificate from the Astronomical League, right? Yeah, I think you would deserve it at that point. But that's awesome, man. Your artwork's stellar, no pun intended. It's astronomical.
Thank you.
Stuff. It's simply out of this world. So
I think we got it the first time.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. They were just coming to me, so I was just like, man, just run with it. We thank
Just
all
run
y'all
with
for just run with it. We appreciate y'all hanging out with us. Stephen hanging out from the Bortle one. Everybody that was in the chat. All night long.
Science. Krena's. No. So we got to get Krena verse. The second to last one is the boom science. Boom science.
But yeah, we appreciate all y'all hanging out. Thanks for coming, Abigail. We appreciate you, Brett. He's probably allergic to the sun. I think we're all allergic to the sun. Yeah, I'm
a vampire.
I'm so pale. Like if I go out, I immediately I start smoking. It's bad. I'm glad that would hit slowly and started. It was a slow burn, but that's how it feels. It's a slow burn. Karina says, yes, Stephen.
Stephen.
And then she goes, and then she, like Ron said, she goes, boom, science. And then star science.
I mean, didn't you say she used to be a coworker? So she's like obviously you're a space nerd and stuff.
You know what? She did the darndest thing. She stopped working here like last week, and then she's still hanging out, and she's like, "I'll still, like do stuff." Like, really though? Really?
Well, that's what I'm saying. We should get her on, man, and have her come in and like just hang out and BS with us wherever she's at, and just talk space, man. Obviously, she knows what's up. And Brett
would love that.
Last all night tonight. And you know what I love?
Yeah.
You never know. Here's the thing: is that so many people will see numbers and see. There's like 6 people, 8 people, 10 people are watching. We didn't put a whole lot out today for Jacob's like stuff. Actually, we were going to do it on our own personal pages. And so last minute, I'm like, let's do it. I mean, we ended up with like 400 people watching, which is great, but we didn't tell anybody. But there was a point where we had dropped only like maybe 8 to 10 people in chat. Every single one of the people watching were all incredible space science people. They were artists. They were astronomers. There was this kid named A. Mitty who's like 10, 12 years old who joined last week on that one, who just is amazing. We thought he was an adult astronomer, and he's a kid, and he's amazing. He's just inspiring all of us. And that was
that William kid. Yeah,
man. It's
that kid's great.
So cool.
She says, "Shh, ha 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 ha."
Yeah, let me back.
Sorry, I have to read the comments verbatim, or people will say I misquoted them. She says, "Let me back, let me in." You're more than welcome.
You did this to yourself, Christina. Yeah.
Brett says he was just searching for TSP vids for nostalgia, and I guess he stumbled upon us. Well, dude, if Texas Star Party brought you to us, that is like one of the coolest things ever, because a star party is kind of a thing that unites people. I mean, I met some of my best friends from Australia at a couple of years ago at Texas Star Party. So in a way, even though we're not having Texas Star Party, we kind of are, aren't we? We're here doing this.
Yeah.
Wait, when is Texas Star Party?
It's next month, so it would be next month, dark moon, so or new moon. So
yeah. So last year it was around this time though, wasn't it? It's usually late April, early May, or later in May.
Depends on where new moon
lunar
falls.
cycle. Yeah.
There might be something there, dude. I mean, not saying Texas Star Party in particular, but if you started something and did a live stream throughout the night, very similar to what Yuri's night did, nobody's done a Star Party yet. So you could do Stephen. I mean, we can even have like a national Star Party where we say, let's talk to people across the country. Let's start on maybe possibly the East Coast with somebody. Well, we can start with what was his name from earlier? They've said that we could use his telescopes. I'm blanking on the author.
John
Reed.
So you could start with like his scopes. I could talk to Michael from SLU. We could use we can get with him. He would be down for it. He can come on and talk about stuff. We could do some stuff with SLU, maybe even talk to their education person. You, Stephen, and then we could go all the way out. We could start early and go all the way out to Dustin.
That'd be so cool. That'd be if it's clear across the country, but that would be really cool.
No, but I mean, the thing is we move through the night when you've got
somewhere
an hour or two at a time, and then we can get other people on too. While Stephen's showing something, we get a space artist. We can talk to other science and space influencers. Might be a really cool idea, man.
I like that. Yeah,
I think we got it.
I like that. That's cool.
I think some other people are agreeing too. I think we've got an idea, guys.
Who's going to police the light polluters?
Me.
And
you,
Stephen,
everyone. My job, but
excuse me, could you turn off your white light? You're destroying my rhodopsin. That's usually what I hit them with, and they're like, "Well, I can't argue against that because I don't even know what rhodopsin is. So you win. I'll turn off my light." Do it. That'd be great.
I think we got an idea.
Turn a Tony the Tiger.
So if we could get SLU, Op Telescopes, Stardom, Deep Sky Dude. Stephen, what do you think? Dude? Is there anybody you need to I mean, obviously you could just be on the show, but I mean, is there anything that particular would McDonald like to talk about it and put it on their stuff? If not, we understand. But is it something?
I mean, I'd have to run that through people, but I think we can. That's a really cool idea. Yeah,
you have to run it through people
thanks to these streams and stuff, I've had a really easy time convincing management here to let me do this stuff. So yeah.
Well, and Stephen knows what he's doing, and he has a very eloquent way of teaching that to others. So he's a vital member of that team out there now. So kind of he's got some clout out on the mountain. Let's just say that. But that would be really cool, a USA or even an all-world star party. If we could all get together. I have some buddies in Australia, and actually the guys that I was talking about earlier that I met at TSP, we've been talking, and they're going to do a live stream via this way for us from their observatory in Wirina, which is 3 or so hours west of Sydney. At a very high altitude. They've got an awesome facility up there. When TSP is going on, they have SPSP, the South Pacific Star Party, where they gather like we do here in the U.S. and they set up their telescopes and they go crazy out in the dark like we do. So it might be easy to kind of tie those dudes into this whole thing too. And then we'd have international cooperation, all the way down in Australia. So when it was becoming daylight for us, it'll be just getting nighttime for them, and they can just roll it. So we're about to start doing some test streams, me and Stefan and Nikki, and hopefully my buddy Mark, who works at Catalina, which again I brought that up tonight. Hopefully we can get him in here. Maybe we can cook us some digital food or show us a recipe. You know, like you said, Ron, it'd be cool to like have people doing paintings and things like that along the way that wasn't necessarily star related, but it is totally, you know.
Well,
so
there's a couple of things that people have met here too. I mean, dude, we could talk to authors. We could do something too if we set it up and said we're going to do 4 nights and make it like an event across everything. We create the event, we put it out across all the different pages. I mean, we could probably. I mean, another person too is who's the owner of Explore Scientific. He's done a couple live streams with Dustin. I mean, somebody mentioned that we're talking about some things that are going on, dude. He would love to do this, and that's like you're talking about like that. So here would be an idea too, is that depending on what it is, not doing like a big charge. You know, we all go to these events and we spend thousands of dollars. Saying that it's like it's a $20 donation if you want to. We put the $20 into something, and then we could, you know, we make a donation to say like, you know, something for like Will's next piece, something for like, you know, a donation to like McDonald Observatory. We do something for like Stardom. We can put something out, and then, but from that, then we can say, hey, Dustin, or hey, was it Scott from Explore Scientific?
Scott, yep.
Yeah, so we say, hey, listen, we're going to put this money into it. Maybe we can get enough money together to do like a giveaway or something. There's so many things. I love it. He just keeps doing like, eh.
Well, we're dueling it. We're dueling it.
No, I know. Like we're building it as like it's one of those things. We're building the plane as we're flying it, and that could be really cool.
Which is weird to do. Trust me, I've not tried that though. I'm just kidding. I fly perfectly complete planes. I'm just trying to get this.
No, wait, we need a deep fly dude shirt that says I fly perfectly complete planes. Fly dude.
According to the FAA, they are perfectly complete.
The same FAA that let
you got a certificate
fly.
that says that.
The same FAA that let Boeing blowing. We should call it blowing. It damn near blew up everybody. Sorry, Boeing. I know.
Sorry.
Shots fired.
Those comments are all that guy down there.
We're done for this lunar cycle for the live deep sky tours. We're going to start doing lunar tours on the McDonald YouTube page. And Salsa, if you're interested, I recommend the live streams on the McDonald page for more educational content, and also that you don't have to watch entire 2.5-hour thing if you're a student to try to get some things. But the McDonald page is some great educational things, and I hope to have even more up pretty soon. So if you're curious about that, myself and others are going to be doing a whole lot more astronomy broadcasts from the McDonald YouTube page, as well as our McDonald Observatory Facebook and Instagram, and a little bit of Twitter as well. Twitter's tough, but
Twitter and me don't get along very well. I barely get along. I barely got along with TikTok at first. I was like, I absolutely hate this, and then now it's like I absolutely love them because their algorithms didn't hold me down. People just saw my stuff and like let other people see it too. You're awesome, Brett. We appreciate you hanging out with us. Trying to get to some of these last minute comments before we say adieu.
Amelia, awesome. That's an amazing. Rice is an incredible school.
That is cool.
Oh, sorry, that was just one shout out. That's a great place.
That's an incredible school.
Yeah, lunar tours are coming from the McDonald, and if the weather's clear here, I'll have my refractor out doing the live streams. I am going to try to do more of this kind of format with some of my live streams in the future, where I can have a panel of people while we're streaming the moon. I'm going to try that. I don't exactly know how that's going to work, but we're gonna do some tests.
That'll be fun. I'll be down.
Yeah, definitely. And Stephen can just chill on his couch on that night and let me run.
Yeah, for once. Yeah, if it's cloudy here for once and it's clear there,
Yeah, he can spit out some facts for us.
That's been known to happen.
And there's another thing too that so I've been talking to Dustin about some stuff, and he was talking about it today, saying that he needed to get a scope out to me. If we can get something in, of course, everybody here would be the people that would be training me on this because I'm not there yet. But Will, if he's got one of the telescopes that you were talking about, I also get the attachment for the phone. Charge it up, man. We could be able to do a couple different things and then run it from there. And I already know how to make my phone into a camera. So I mean, if we got, and especially if we had contingency plans, you know, Will's guys are messed up. We've got mine for a while, but then, you know, it clears up for one of you guys. And we've done this before where we jumped through different things. There was one night Will was showing stuff like, well, another really cool thing we can do too is do the one night you were showing stuff. It's what you were doing to model what the night was going to look like, where everybody thought there was going to be the smiley face in the sky. We could do that. We could get Liam to come on. So Liam has the ability to run the cameras that are on the ISS through ISS Hub. So we could jump to that if we had a breakdown for that one. He could talk about what he does. Man, there's a lot of options here, man. I think we got a thing, guys. I think we got a thing. This is cool.
And what's cool is like it's all just kind of us just throwing stuff at the wall, see what sticks, you know. And over time, we, you know, some stuff falls off, but the other stuff that stays up there, we make art with it. You know, it's more abstract, but you know, it's not as cool as what Jacob's doing. But we're throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks, and then we're like, cool. Yeah. So, but that's the fun part about it. And you know, Ron is always coming up with cool ideas and stuff, and he's always shooting me a voice message or whatever, and I'm like, oh, I wonder what this is going to be. I'm always excited to hear because it's always good. And,
here's the thing, man. There's a lot of people that are doing a lot of cool things. Is that you sat down and you learned stuff. For some reason, I continuously get cool ideas, and I don't make that decision. It just pops in my head because whatever madness is happening up there, 3 or 4 times a week, a broken clock is right. You know what I mean? Like it's right twice a day, right? So a couple times a week, I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Oh, Camila, yeah, absolutely. So everything that I do on Space Foundation, I do on Stardom. There's an occasional time on something I'll do on Instagram where I'll have somebody on and we do it a little later at night. And like, you know, a cuss word might drop here or there. But if it's Space Foundation stuff, if it's all the stuff that we've been doing on Explore Mars, the panels that we've had recently, we had Scott Kelly on one. We had Jim Green and the director of astrobiology. Well, she's moved on now. She's got a new title. We talked about life on Mars. The one that we have coming up is Tanya Harrison and astroecologist. I forget what Joe's last name is now. They're going to talk about how learning about Mars is going to teach us about stuff here on Earth. We've got one with the Cosmic Perspective team and Frank White talking about the overview effect. All the stuff I've been working on. The one on Monday, I'm talking to she's the lead information person for so all the stuff you see with the images behind me, the videos, she's the one that's writing all those press releases, all the stuff that comes out. Bethany's going to talk about that. There's always actually most likely next Friday, the interview is going to be with Will. So it's really cool to talk about, like, you know, a week after Hubble and Deeps and you know, International Dark Sky week and everything. We're going to be talking to him. So it's constant. I'm doing sometimes. We're going to get to the point where I'm going to be almost daily throughout the week. All of them are kid friendly. They're all in the middle of the day.
Yeah. And you know,
I was like, yeah, that was a lot, Ron.
Yeah.
there's almost no way I can re-encapsulate that. It was just so well done. So, but that's why you got to follow us on Instagram. You know, you got to follow Stephen on Instagram because he posts these awesome stories and he's like, hey, look at this thing I shot for 9 hours. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Galaxies that he's caught, things like that. It's just amazing. Y'all got to check it out.
Thanks, man.
You got to, I don't know what that was, but it kind of scared me a little bit.
I don't know what that was.
Somebody was trying to mess with me by sending me a sound. I won't say who it was, but they're like, "Oh, just funny sounds while you're talking." So it's like, it's kind of funny, but
well, it definitely got us because I was like,
it
okay,
got our attention. Yeah.
If that's at Steven's place, he's in a lot of trouble. Probably...
No, wait. Here's the thing. It was just a donkey, like it's just funny animal sounds. Is all it is. So I love the fact that Will went like into a dark place. And, like
it was like some tamper like scratching on the side of the dome, like I need photons. Please show me Saturn. Sir, show me Saturn. I need Jupiter. Guys, we've had some fun here tonight. I want to thank everybody who hung out with us in the chat. Whether you hung out with us on YouTube, Facebook, wherever you were, we appreciate y'all hanging out. We appreciate y'all sharing these live streams when we do them because that's how people see them and can join in on us or join in with us and have fun. Thanks, John Reed, for stopping by and telling us about the book and giving that book away and entering everybody into the contest. So you gotta check out that book. I'm sure there's either a link in here or John will link it later. To where you can get that, but you can just Google John Reed and 50 things to see on the moon, and by the time you get to that point, it'll be there. And the free book was the 50 animals in space, so go get that. and you're entered to win all of his books at the same time if you win, which is going to be great. Jacob, thanks for being here with us, man. Pretty sure.
Appreciate it. Yeah, hopefully you get to come out to McDonald's sometime in the future. All of you, of course. But
when this ends, I'll take a trip.
Yeah, I'm gonna be the guy scratching on the observatory dome in like 4 days when I come out there, like let me in, you know me. I'm trustworthy. I've been quarantined. Steven's on the phone. Hey, can we get the sheriff down here? We got this really weird dude who has way too much time on his hands down here.
Every darn night, someone's
Camila, thank you for checking everything out. I appreciate it. This is awesome, man. I can do this forever. I know everybody's busy and stuff, man. But
absolutely, Karina, thanks for stopping by and making it such a fun thing. Sergio, sorry you just got here. Greetings from Mexico. Greetings from America and Texas. We appreciate you stopping by.
Wait. Did you say greetings from America and Texas? Like,
yeah, well,
two different
places.
Two different places.
You gotta understand, when you're from Texas, there's Texas and then there's everywhere else. So
that's right.
California thinks the same thing. Abigail is an incredibly untalented astronomer. She knows nothing about space. Definitely hasn't done anything.
She's never been to Okie Tech Star Party, not once in her life ever. Never.
Honestly, I mean, really, when we talk about it, like apparently she does stuff at the planetarium. I don't know that I could stand to really sit and listen to that. She really has no knowledge whatsoever. Very much like Stephen, no talent in any way, shape.
Yeah. Stephen has no idea what a telescope is. we should definitely have Abigail on here one night and have her tell us what she does at the planetarium too, because she does some really, really cool stuff working with Scott over at Explorer Scientific as one of their ambassadors too. So it's good to have Abigail here. We could get to all these comments, guys, but I mean, we probably don't have time because we could sit here all night. It was not the skunk. I think Steven's got bigger problems than skunks now. It's random campers sleeping in their trucks out there. Don't go to the McDonald Observatory yet.
Not yet. Please don't come here. We will kick you out if you try to come here right now.
Texas represent. We will tell. Yeah. So guys, thank y'all for coming. We'll get to a lot of y'all's comments next time, because I like to show every comment. Well, besides the flat Earth ones, because that's the problem.
So many. God, I don't know how you could have ever got. Did you get through all of them tonight, man? Because I know when I looked at Stardom, we were somewhere around 75 on hours, and that I know yours.
Wow.
Yeah, yours and your YouTube normally blows it out of the water. Like, so I bet yours is out. Oh, and then there's the fact that I shared it on my personal Facebook. We can't see those.
Oh, that's true.
So who knows what people even said there? Yeah.
That's true, and Abigail is down to come on, so we'll talk about we'll get together and we'll have that happen. And
I asked her earlier, but she's not feeling well tonight, man. So she's kind of dealing with some health issues and stuff like that. So I talked to her earlier about it today when I was saying there were some people that I wanted to have on, and all joking, she's incredibly talented. So I was going to talk to her about it because she just did an awesome one. That one she did with Explore Scientific was great.
Yeah.
So I think it's the planetarium show she did, and like she just put it into like oh God, I forgot what they're called. A PowerPoint? Is that what it is? I don't know. I've never done one before. I've never had to.
There are things there is a thing called PowerPoint.
PowerPoint was kind of I mean, I would have graduated in '99. It was like they were there, but we weren't really doing a whole lot with them. And then they became a thing. So
we had night vision. Yes. Yeah, PowerPoint is a thing.
Can't hide.
And McDonald's security does have night vision scopes and silencers. So do not go out there. Not only night vision, they have infrared as well. You do not want to mess with these people. They have infrared telescopes that can see inside of you. So don't go out there.
We see your deepest, darkest secrets. Yeah.
Guys, Stephen, thank you again, man, for
this is
the
fun.
awesome tour. Such a cool thing you do, and just so honored to even be able to share this with everybody like this way. So again, man, so talented, so knowledgeable. Follow Stephen Hummel on Instagram. You can see them scrolling below us at the bottom. Always a pleasure, Stephen. Ron, it's always a pleasure, man. Thank you for hanging out for ridiculous amounts of time. And all of y'all in the chat room too, man. We still have 36 people watching right now, even into the last part of the stream, man. That's crazy. So
Wow. Awesome.
thank y'all for hanging out with us. All of y'all, y'all are all awesome. Thank y'all for making it fun. Karina with the laser skunks. I don't even, that laser skunks, that sounds like horrible things are happening. Jacob, you're the man. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm so looking forward to your progress, man. I love that you've taken your art and flipped it and got a whole new meaning to your art and to your voice, man. So it's incredible stuff. Stay the course, my friend.
Thank you.
Yeah. And y'all are all doing awesome. Again, appreciate all y'all hanging out with us and sharing the live stream. We really do appreciate y'all. We will be back at some point with another live stream. I'm going to be probably doing some lunar stuff coming up, so stay tuned for that. Other than that, stay inside for a little bit longer, guys. We've only got a little bit longer. We got to keep doing this, and everything's probably going to be A-okay. So stay inside. Wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
What are you doing? Just wash your hands. We love y'all. We thank y'all for joining us. We're going to take off for the evening. It's been a pleasure. We will see y'all on the next broadcast. Y'all have a great evening. Clear skies. Take care of yourselves. Take care of someone else. We'll see y'all soon.
It gets me every time. Take care of yourselves and each other.
But it's important, Ron. It's important.